good land as division play begins. Armen Sarian sits right there on the other side of this rather palatial studio that we broadcast to you on 1070 The Game, The Score in Appleton, Oshkosh, and worldwide on the iHeart Audio app and on the weapon that is video streaming on YouTube, X, and Facebook. Good morning, everybody. I'm Billy Schmidt. That's Armen Sarian. What's going on, brother?
All right, what's going on? Good morning. Happy Friday. Congrats to Winneconne. Congrats to Darlington, who
ran away with the D6 title yesterday against Edgar early, up to 21-0.
I read somewhere, is this true, that Darlington had 7 appearances in a row without winning or something like that, or 6 in a row without winning until they finally won into the finals, into the state finals?
It's been 30 years since they've won one, and I remember Darlington being in the state championship, Billy.
Well,
like it seems like every other year, every third year, and they haven't won. Yeah,
sounds very, very factual.
So
sounds like something that would be absolutely factual.
So that's amazing. Like, like obviously, I just know based on this time of year and remembering the names that Darlington and Edgar, D6 felt like they're invitational always, like those two teams. But like, I didn't realize you go that many times, you don't want to be the Buffalo Bills. You know what I mean? This is big weight off their shoulders.
Buffalo Bills were becoming Darlington High School, and even better, like you could tell then, because I was watching the game with no sound, and the exultation on the head coach's face once the Gatorade bath hits with like 24 seconds to go, and I think they were up 30 points. That would explain it. That's awesome. Phenomenal day at Camp Randall yesterday, even though maybe some of the games were not all that good until we finally got one of the barn burners in Division 4 that paid off everything that we were hoping it would be. It was a lot of fun, and it's definitely one that you continue to think fondly of because, Armen, this is one of those days that everything is in front of you.
It's all in front of you, baby.
This could be day 228 of the year, and you could know that this could be the day to try to know, how do you figure out what you really want? You imagine a life that would be too good to be true, and then you take notes of the elements and the themes. Are you surrounded by others? Are you quiet? Are you hopeful or healing or resting? Are you adventuring? Are you in the wild? These are all things that might be floating through Lane Kiffin's mind. They could all be floating through the minds of any Green Bay Packer. What do you really want? How do you figure out what you really want? Yeah. What you really want is to win some divisional games and be better than 1-5 in the division. We're going to hear from Micah Parsons later on in the show, a couple other Green Bay Packers from the locker room yesterday. But it was stressed so much last year. You got one victory already in the division. But what do you really want? Do you want to be the 7 seed again and be battling for your playoff lives?
This is a great point, Billy. Yes.
Do you want to own the North, which you haven't done since 2021? Or do you want to continue to live in limbo and question and frustration from the fan base? Or do you want to go and snatch this division like you thought it was yours early on here? What do you want, Green Bay Packers? It's all right in front of you for the final 6 games, and it starts up coming up on Sunday.
It's all right in front of you. Opportunity knocks. Will you answer the door? I like that, Billy, because what do you want? Obviously, everybody wants the same thing in the NFL. They want to win the Super Bowl. They want to win a world championship. They want to hoist the Lombardi trophy. But what's the best path to get there? What are the steps along the way? What's the journey and what's the reward? And you're right, Billy. I think it would start with finally winning the NFC North. I mean, it's been a while now. The Packers have been in the playoffs, and they've been able to get in and get in with the wild card. However, you're right, Billy. We haven't had a home playoff game here in a while. And, I think that would be a nice step to take control of this division, to win some games, to give some belief, to pump some energy into the fan base and into the observers and the viewers and the the rest of the commentators that maybe they didn't believe in. And it would go a long way to start this weekend by dominating the Minnesota Vikings if they could do it, because there is a sense of, I was saying during the Brewers season that there was a perception problem for the Brewers. They were having a great year, but there was a lot of people who just didn't perceive they should be that good, right? So their biggest weakness was perception. The perception didn't match reality. The Brewers were playing really well all year. The perception might match the reality for the Packers a little bit more, because there's a big perception problem for the Packers that there's a lot more out there. Like the Packers are underperforming, that the Packers could be doing a lot better. And I have to say I agree with that more than the idea, the notion that the Brewers would be, right? So maybe they can do a little bit more to push that perception out the window a little bit and say, hey, we can be good. We are going to beat this Vikings team. We are going to start our division run here with a bang, go 7-3-1, and then storm into those other games coming up, those Bears games especially.
Well,
that would be nice to do, Billy.
Even more validate the fact that you're not the same team that you were a year ago, that people were very, very disappointed and frustrated with. And I don't, again, what they accomplished a year ago is very nice. Going to the postseason is something that every team first on the checklist is. Even though they played in a one-score game in the fourth quarter against Philadelphia, they were a bit of an underperformer a year ago, whether that was because of poor performance, disappointment, injuries, all of the above contribute. Now you have some injuries. You have some underperformance. You also have some players that are probably performing even a little bit better than your early expectations could have been. And you also have a lot of room to improve with some of your best players. And I'm thinking clearly of a Matthew Golden. I know a lot of frustration is going towards Rashawn Gary as of late. That's been a hot button topic online.
Yes.
Because of where his production has gone. I would ask you to look at the rest of Rashawn Gary's career and tell me where the rest of the consistent sack production would be. Again, this has kind of been the story on him. So
and maybe that's part of the issue that people are starting to gripe about. Yeah,
might be, but again, get what you expect. And he's right now an 8.5 sack guy. There definitely needs to be more consistency with it. But you have spots where Matthew Golden is one that I can immediately point to. Christian Watson right back onto the field, finally being unwrapped a week ago.
Yeah.
Huge opportunity.
Huge.
Potentially Marshawn Lloyd coming back at some particular point. That we'll have to believe until we see. But there's room for all of these performances to be better. And you're starting from a hell of a baseline right now at 6-3-1 going into divisional play, where you stack up as well as anybody else in the division. Is Detroit as much of a wagon as they were last year? Absolutely not. Is Chicago better than they were a year ago? For sure in one-score games. And you're going to have to beat the Bears this year, whereas going into outside of maybe week 18 last year, they kind of beat themselves in one-score games. The Minnesota Vikings are the ones that have handled you, especially at home. This is the first of the biggest statements that got to be made, because they're right now 4-6. You can all but feel like you kicked them out of the playoff club with a victory this weekend. Go out and validate it. Go out and validate it and run the football a little bit, because this defensive line, as we heard from Dave Sinekin with the Minnesota Vikings, was expected to be very, very dangerous. Was expected to be very, very good with a bunch of veterans that they brought in, Javon Hargrave, Jonathan Allen, adding into Jonathan Grenard and Andrew Van Ginkel, who they had there a year ago. They've been kind of underwhelming, and there's definitely yards in production to be had against them.
Yeah, and that's the spot I think the Packers would like to finally put their foot in the ground and improve upon, no pun intended, is obviously, Billy, the pass protection angle, but running the ball. Now, we don't know about Josh Jacobs yet. We don't know what the situation is there yet. We don't know what kind of weapons the Packers will have on offense, but it would be nice to do what teams have done against us for a change, and that's control the clock, control possession, and put more points on the board and get a lead early, right? The Packers have not had the ability, or they have not been able to get the lead early and let their defense eat, so to speak. In that regard, and playing from ahead would I think do a lot for the Packers to do that. Also, Billy, I'm watching the Bills Texans last night, and I can't help but think to myself, the Bills, man, they're such a different team when they can protect the quarterback. And last night they couldn't do it. Mm-hmm. They could not protect Josh Allen all night. He was struggling. Josh Allen's a great quarterback. They have some weapons on offense, not a lot, but they have some weapons on offense.
And one of them was out last night in Kincaid, who's phenomenal.
But they can't do much of anything when Josh Allen was under duress all night, as great as he is. And they weren't able to get explosive plays. They weren't able to do so many things. Pressure, consistent pressure on a quarterback is so important when you have it and when you're trying to protect against it. And that's something the Packers have struggled with this year at times, is protecting Jordan Love, obviously, and some of their losses. So that's an important thing as well, is to try and protect Jordan as much as they can on Sunday against that defensive front that you talked about. That is a bit underwhelming. Okay, let's continue that trend. Let's make sure we can protect Jordan Love. Let's get in the hot. Let's get back on the into the lead. Let's get ahead of the sticks. Let's get ahead of this game, this lead, this team, and trying to work from there, trying to lean on them that way, because it feels like we've been the one trying to fight the uphill battle these last few weeks, in the time of possession battle, in getting some rhythm on offense, in protecting the quarterback, and getting the run game going. you'd like to see those trends turn around this Sunday.
Absolutely. And this is not necessarily the easiest defensive scheme to do a whole lot of that against. One that's going to stress the communication for the offensive line a lot. What the quarterback does at the line of scrimmage a lot. And but should be some opportunities, absolutely, if the ball gets out quickly, to be able to get the ball out and make some hay at some particular point in time. 877-794-1973. You mentioned the game last night. And I probably should have had all of these sweet numbers and trends going into yesterday's show with Thursday Night Football with the Buffalo Bills and the Houston Texans. Certain guys and certain teams just, for whatever reason it is, play well at certain stadiums and play badly and poorly at others.
Just feels that way, right?
And certain guys play really, really well against certain opponents and others just don't. I would point to Bryce Young against the Green Bay Packers. Now, his numbers this year weren't all that great, but I was listening to Kyle Long right away. He's like, hey, man, threw for maybe the most yards he ever had before against Green Bay. Maybe that's just a thing. I don't necessarily know if it is. But when you look at Josh Allen now, I think he's 0-5 at NRG Stadium.
Crazy. Hey.
It's by far his worst, like, across the board numbers, completion percentage, touchdown to interception, touchdown to turnover ratio in his career. Albeit he had never lost a Thursday night game until last night, but it was one of those, something's got to give. He's never won at this place and never played well. Going into the game yesterday, he was like something of 46% completion percentage going into the game at that stadium. And then he never lost on Thursday night. Something had to give. And last night, ultimately, Houston, that's a huge win for the Texans.
Huge win for the Texans.
And straight with a backup quarterback, saving their season.
A couple things here, Billy, giving you hope, right, for some of your future, giving you some glimmers of hope with Davis Mills. Hey, man, he brought the wagon and he's driving it.
Maybe that defense that I told you earlier in the year was the best defense in football.
They're really good.
Pretty good.
I mean, when they get going, they play well. They were putting incredible pressure on Josh Allen all night. They were really good. Davis Mills was really good. Late drive in that first half was so impressive. You got to give them credit. I think they're 6-5 now, so they're back in the mix. There's some trouble in Buffalo. They're 7-4, but they're showing some signs of weakness, and that's been an issue. But listen, no team looks perfect. So that's part of the thing we run into, and I don't want to overemphasize the point that just because they've lost some games and have some weaknesses that they're somehow they can't do what they want to do. They can. But
does it feel like more of this year though? What the statement you just said is probably more true than others, where there's just a lot of really good teams. There's a lot of good teams and no true great team.
In this league, it does feel that way, Billy. And this league is topsy-turvy more than other years, I think, as well. Now, the Bills are still 7-4, but I think they're a contender in trouble. You talk about them. You talk about the Chiefs. Well, we have talked about the Chiefs a lot this year and the struggles they've had. Now they're going to be in an uphill climb just to make the playoffs. The Bills, I think everybody kind of just, penciled in for the AFC East, and it looks like they're going to have a tough time winning that now with New England 2 games up. Pittsburgh is, has a comfortable lead over Baltimore. I don't know, comfortable. They have a game lead over Baltimore. So this is kind of a topsy-turvy league in terms of the main AFC contenders that you've expected are not the main AFC contenders. It's not that, it's not the Chiefs, Ravens, Bills of the past. It's, Colts, the Broncos, obviously the Patriots. So this is a pretty interesting AFC as well. I don't know. It does feel that way, though, Billy. Like, it doesn't feel like there's one dominant team, right? I mean,
feels like 2007 with those standings you just listed off.
I know, right? That's a good one. Yeah, that does. It's kind of like a retro thing. Like, there are teams in first place. There are teams that had the best records, but it feels like every team is flawed in some way. And that's the way it's supposed to be. That's the way it's.
I don't know. There'd be a whole lot of people that would really beat and pound the table saying that the Denver Broncos are the best team in football.
Right. But they have that record that they're up there. I mean, they have the record. They're tied with New England at 9-2.
God bless outside of Indianapolis Colts fans. I don't know that there's anybody really hammering home that they're waiting and salivating for the opportunity to back Daniel Jones in a playoff game.
Sure. It's the perception aspect of it. And
or to win multiple playoff games like you have to. Like it's as wide open as it's probably ever been. And on the AFC side, I still think rang rather true. That's where the biggest boogeyman quarterbacks are. Apparently Joe Burrow trying to come back at 3-7. That's a decision. It is, but they had the run last year at the end of the year, if you remember, where they almost made it back to the playoffs after his injury. They're only 3 games out of the lead. Now they'd have to jump Baltimore, and that doesn't look like exactly an easy task. They've lost 7 of their last 8 games albeit most by one score, but they've been in a lot of those games.
They also have a terrible, doesn't matter, because a lot of it was with Browning, but they have a terrible point differential. I think it's the worst in football. But you know what though? But the real dogs want to come back and try and make that run. Is Joe Burrow a dog? I think in some ways he is. That would be a choice though, wouldn't it? Like, it's like, do you really need to come back here, Joe? Do you really want to do this? But I guess until they're out of contention, you can make that run. And then in the NFC, Billy, you're left with the Rams having the best record in the NFC. Who would have thunk it? I guess a lot of people would have, except me, before the season started. A lot of people would have. So it is pretty interesting. And then obviously the Eagles are there too. It is pretty interesting on both ends. That's why we love this league. It is topsy-turvy. The Bills last night, although we did get to see a great thing we never get to see anymore. That's a perfectly executed hook and ladder. You don't get to see that as much anymore. I don't know if you saw that.
Field laterals, baby.
And they couldn't even conduct. That should have been the game winner for them.
Mm-hmm.
You give up a 4th and 20 with 7, whatever, hook and ladder. You get down there, and they couldn't even score. So the Texans escaped last night. But that defense, man,
what you think of
tough
those unis?
front. Too bright, too much.
The
helmets are cool.
The lids were cool.
Yes.
Very bright.
The helmets are cool. It's that it would have been better with a matte, maybe with the helmet. But that bright helmet was pretty cool. But that red was too much. Wayne would have had a hell of a time with those numbers and stuff. Dark blue on dark red or whatever it was.
Yeah, that'd have been tough. We'll ask the voice of the Green Bay Packers coming up at 8 what he thought of them and what he thinks of Packers and Vikings. A lot more of it throughout the morning. What are you most nervous about potentially going into this matchup?
Yeah, and what parts of the matchup?
And because I think when you ask that, a lot of people initially think, well, what on the other side is causing more consternation and frustration, angst going into the game. I think mostly Packers fans are looking at their own house. I don't really believe many Packers fans are going into a game right now, and I could be wrong, and I hope you correct me if I am, at 877-794-1973, or drop a comment on the YouTube stream. It feels like mostly the negative feelings going into a game right now from Packers fandom all start from within. It's not what J.J. McCarthy or Aaron Jones potentially could do in his second game back at Lambeau Field against the home team. Not what Justin Jefferson might be able to route up, and Jordan Addison, how wide open they could find themselves against this Packers secondary. It's all about what the Packers are doing. So I'd like to hear it from you at 877-794-1973. We'll also hear from our friend Scott Dolphin on the other side. As I mentioned, the voice of the Green Bay Packers at 8 o'clock. It's Wayne Larrivee coming up. Then it's No BS with Billy and Armen. Until then, and until 10 o'clock, stay wide. You got us on the game.
Want to watch No BS?
We'll do anything it takes.
They're live on YouTube, Facebook, and X right now.
We have a place for it.
Just search 97.3 The Game. The border battle is renewed on Sunday as Green Bay hosts Minnesota at Lambeau.
Last year, we went 1-5. It's not where we wanted to be as a team in this division. And so I think this year, we want to provide just like a new outlook of what type of team that we are. And, we don't want to repeat that same the same stuff that we did last year.
Billy and Armen are previewing every angle all morning on The Game.
I'm Rhett Lewis with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. Week 12 of the NFL season kicked off in Houston, where the Texans defense put on a show, racking up 8 sacks, 2 interceptions, and a fumble recovery on their way to a 23-19 upset over the Bills. The win set Houston to 6-5, keeps them just a half game back in the AFC wildcard race. In Cincinnati, Joe Burrow was a full participant at practice for the second straight day. Great news for Bengals fans who've been without the star quarterback after he was placed on injured reserve after week 2 with a toe injury. Staying in the AFC North, Aaron Rodgers returned to practice today on a limited basis after missing Wednesday's session. Future Hall of Famer sustained a fracture in his left wrist during the Steelers' Week 11 game against Cincinnati. And in Indianapolis, Daniel Jones was a surprise addition to the Colts injury report on Thursday. Star QB limited with a calf injury. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. Wounded Warrior Project was created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war, whether those scars are physical or mental. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
1 in 4 Americans have a disability. I'm one of them. I'm also a working mom who cares deeply about making sure every child with a disability thrives by getting their access needs met. We've got a trusted ally by our side. Easter Seals provides children and families the foundation for lifelong success through early learning programs, skills training, and prep for college and career. That's my Easter Seals. Make it yours. Join us at easterseals.com.
If you really want to support our troops, just contact the USO.
You can't believe how much they do for us.
To find out how you can help, visit us at USO.org. The USO, until everyone comes home.
Animals need friends. For a list of 10 easy things you can do to brighten their lives, please write People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals. That's Peter, Norfolk, Virginia, 23510. Thanks.
Don't talk to me about no Kyle Kuzma.
iHeartRadio.
Here are the top Pat Benatar songs that you've thumbed up. Number 3, Love is a Battlefield. Number 2, We Belong. Number 1, Hit Me With Your Best Shot.
Hit me with your best shot. Why don't you hit me with your best shot? Hit me with your best shot. Fire away.
Hear more from Pat Benatar and similar artists now. Search for Pat Benatar on iHeartRadio. All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free.
Sometimes on quiet afternoons, Barbie daydreams with you. You'll love all their brand new outfits. Each one you buy is beautifully designed to let you make one of Barbie's dreams come true.
Single back offense, Love under center. Here's the handoff. Emmanuel Wilson finds a crease up the middle to the end zone. Touchdown! And the Packers vault into the lead.
Message marked urgent.
We're here for you now on the NicoleLaw.com talk and text line at 1-877-794-1973.
I want to be your Friday night sweet bright summertime sunshine barefoot in the moonlight. I want to be your jackpot hotspot wide open road and a candy apple rat tie. I want to set you free. I want to take you high. I want to be your Friday night. Oh, your Friday night. 1, 2, 3, oh. I want to be your lemonade and the shade money in your pocket 'cause you just got paid, baby. Oh, I want to be
No BS is back on the game. You know, we say 877-794-1973, the NicoleLaw.com talk and text line is always open. It never closes. It really is like a true quick trip. Not one of these fake quick trips that's disguising as a quick star, trying to call themselves one, and then all of a sudden closing at 11
like
o'clock.
that one in Janesville. Sketchy.
Yeah, thank you.
I haven't been there.
You keep your
Don't
quick
go.
stars
Don't
west
go.
of the border this week.
But there's a reason for that, right? They can't be
all the Iowa quick trips are
Right.
quick star because
Yeah.
they're west of the Mississippi.
Yeah, west of the Mississippi, you keep your quick star this week.
Now Iowa also has the other
Casey's is the
I
big
was
one
thinking
out
of
there.
Come and Go.
There's a Casey's in
Oh, Come and
Whitewater.
Go. Yes.
Oh, Come and Go.
Louise,
Yeah.
dude.
What was
Yeah,
the
you ever
slogan?
seen- What's that?
I'm trying to think of the slogan. It'll come to me.
I don't know. Those popped up long after I left Iowa.
Yeah.
But Casey's has always been in Iowa. That's the big popular one out there.
Right.
There's one Casey's in Waterford, I think.
There's one near Menominee Falls and Sussex.
There's
I
one
wanna
on
say.
Highway 36 on your way to on your way to Waterford. So that's the one you're
Waterford,
talking about.
yes,
and
yes.
then there's one in Whitewater. Yeah, there's a handful.
Yeah,
A handful of them. I like them.
They have good homemade pizzas and sandwiches.
I was just gonna say the homemade sandwich. I'm a big fan of being able to go and grab something like that.
Oh my God! Here in
Quick
Milwaukee,
Trip.
WISN 12.
Very much true.
WISN 12 went to the Buc-ee's in Kentucky.
Yeah, it's a big
Uh-huh.
deal. I saw that story.
Oh my God. I had no idea. I mean, you hear about these places, 125 gas pumps and takes up acres of land. And there's one coming to Oak Creek.
A lot of
But
gas, man.
They had a 3-person brisket station where they're constantly throwing brisket together for people. It's
Now,
unbelievable.
Is this like a Publix that they have in Florida?
More like
You
a
guys-
Wawa that you would find
Okay.
in Florida. Yes, where it would be like Publix, full on like festival pick and save.
Publix with an X.
Yeah, that you'll find there. The Wawa is more of the KC's or the Buc-ee's,
Right.
where they actually, I mean, they do have like attendants making to order sandwiches and like breakfast
Now,
burritos and things like
They,
that.
they're making like Muddy Buddies and that type of snacks. And then they also have over 100 jerkies they make every day. 100 different
What?
flavors
That's
of
wild.
jerky.
That's
They have
pretty
venison
wild.
as well.
It
That would
is
be cool.
It's insane. I mean,
After tomorrow.
Well,
Yep.
hold on.
Hello.
Now, listen.
After
Now-
tomorrow, we start bagging these deer.
You know, I want to be a welcoming neighbor, and they might have. I know that's gun season starting.
I
now.
almost
Buc-ee's-
started gun season a little bit early accidentally while
Really?
driving in
Oh.
this morning. Pardon me. Yeah, I apologize.
You gunned the Hyundai with the. Is that the?
No, and one doe almost gunned me. All of a sudden, I saw her eyeing me up as I was trying to go very, very slowly. She took one step towards my Hyundai Santa Fe, and I'm like,
Yeah.
honey,
No
this
fear.
is not going to be a good situation.
Right.
Yeah.
Let me get up out of here.
No,
So I
they're
go
running
ahead.
around these parts. There's no doubt about it. Now, listen, Buc-ee's might go in Oak Creek. That's why they're having this, because there might be a Buc-ee's in Oak Creek.
It's
Will be.
definitely happening.
Will
Will
be.
be. It's gonna
Yeah, will
happen.
be.
They
Oh,
are
they're breaking
creating an
ground.
interchange. There is no exit on ramp or off ramp at Elm, but there will be next year
There's
when they
gonna
put
be.
this Buc-ee's in.
Yeah, for that and for other reasons. Now, my thing is, okay, that's cool. I love it. And I'm excited, but
Doesn't sound like it.
well, Quick Trip's a uniquely Wisconsin brand. I don't want us, just because the pretty new girl just moved into school and all this stuff, to forget about what we have. All right. I love Quick Trip. And now this is tough for me because now that I moved, I don't have a Quick Trip on the way to work anymore. Billy. This is tough for me. I don't have one on the way to
Oh,
work.
you're going
Well,
through withdrawals, huh?
So I have to go out of
Hey,
my
welcome
way.
to my world. I live in the city of Milwaukee. We've never had a Quick Trip.
Never
Yes.
been, yeah.
Closest one is 27th in
There's
college.
27th in college.
Yeah, which used to
is
be a
closest to me now.
PDQ.
Which the PD, but that's
The
close.
Hardee's
to me
before
now.
that.
I used
Oh,
to
really?
Like I used to
Yeah.
like Hardee's a lot.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was a Hardee's there. Now there is the one on 27th in college. It's a little out of the way for me, but I might have to deal with that because I
And that's
want
Oak Creek anyway.
Yeah.
I don't.
It's
Yeah,
Oak Creek.
Get
It
yourself
is.
over there. You'll
It's
be
Oak
fine.
Creek.
It is.
yeah.
It's
I don't
basically
understand
Milwaukee.
why we don't have them in Milwaukee, but that must be a political thing. I don't know. But this
Sounds like
Buc-ee's,
you're making a statement here.
Buc-ee's is not Quick Trip. The Quick Trip is always going to be there. They're on every
I know.
every
Buc-ee's
exit
is
off
totally
ramp.
different.
This is going to be they call it the Disney World of gas stations.
It kind of looks more like a museum than anything else.
Like a Mall of
but what-
America
yeah,
type
it's
of
a
thing.
Mall of
100%.
America
It's like a
gas
mall.
station.
It's like a mall
What about
gas
your
station.
I-80 truck stop?
Well,
though?
nothing compares to that. The world's largest truck stop.
Nothing.
Yeah,
In Iowa.
Walcott, Iowa. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a monster.
That was a destination. So my first job in radio was in the Quad Cities, and that's basically where that is. And you would take day trips out there you could get a haircut, you could watch a movie,
You go to the dentist, take a shower, do
all that stuff.
Yeah,
They get everything at the world's largest.
And
truck
as
stop.
you
Is that a
know-
truck stop?
As you know, Billy, that's my dream is to take a shower.
I was just going to say one of your dreams could be fulfilled.
Wear
right there, is
shower
taking a
shoes,
dream
just
at
saying.
at a truck stop. Would you want to? Would you try to at the new Buc-ee's, or do you think your first shower needs to be at a stop at a Quick Trip?
Well, I don't know if Quick Trip
I
has
don't think
showers.
You better
they do
believe
that.
they do.
They do? My
Oh.
bad. My bad.
Yeah.
Mea culpa.
Have
Oh,
you
yeah,
gone,
like the one
have
in
you
Kenosha.
gone to
Yeah.
Belgium, where we stop, Luddy, damn near every Sunday on the way
Belgium,
back
Wisconsin.
from Lambeau Field?
Well, you damn right. I'll
Some
take a
beautiful
shower.
ones in that bad
I'll-
boy.
I'll take a
Gorgeous
shower.
spot. All you gotta do is drive like an hour and 10 minutes.
I'll take a shower at a Quick Trip if the situation occurs. You know, if the situation
I don't know
occurs.
that it needs to be an occurrence. You
Well-
said it's your lifelong dream.
well,
I
so-
think we should make your dream come true.
Some Quick
Maybe
Trips.
next week
don't
on a
have-
Wednesday, right after the show, we'll drive up to
Yes.
the Quick Trip in Belgium. I think it should be phenomenal video
Just
content.
take shower.
I think
take
we
a
just
shower.
do a
Take a
remote
shower.
show.
Well, please don't.
Armin
okay,
gets
I
out
don't
of the
need
car wearing a robe.
video.
Yeah.
That would be
We're
great.
not videoing anything nasty. Get
Well,
your
you-
head out of the gutter.
No, I mean, listen. Then you're all set to go. You take the shower.
Either way, you're wearing a sweater.
you get a. Well, yeah, absolutely. It's cold out this time of year.
Be okay.
You get some Glazers after your shower. You
Yeah.
settle in.
What's better than that?
You may want to wait till deer season's over, though. It's going to be crazy crowded. I read a stat yesterday where there's between 500 and 600,000 hunters in the woods during
out there.
deer season. We would have the 8th largest army in the world with that many people marching around Wisconsin.
Hey, listen, we take well-armed militia to a brand new level. That's for sure.
It's a militia.
We take well-armed militia to John says Quick Trip in Richfield has shower. All right, let's make a list. There's got to be somebody out there. It's probably Grant Bills that's making a list of every Quick Trip in every county in Wisconsin that has showers and ones that don't. Somebody please come up with the app. Somebody came up with the app that does all the flavors of the day for all the custard around Milwaukee. That does all the work. So
that's tremendous dedication.
Yeah, can you send me that link?
Closest shower, it's an app, I think. Closest shower Quick Trip to me at any time is what I want to know. So there you go, Billy. That's the
30 minutes away. That's an easy one. We should very much easily be able to go and get that done.
You got to bring your own shampoo and all that stuff, or they have it.
I think you have to bring that.
Why? It doesn't make any sense.
Those
I don't
quick
travel
trips,
with shampoo.
Those Quick Trips are probably truck stops before, and so the showers were already there when they moved in. I don't think you're going to find showers at the Quick Trip on 27th and College.
Well, you're definitely not. I've been there. Now that's the one in Franklin here on Speedway on Highway 100, which I love that one by the Menards. But that's the problem.
Quickly become an
you
apartment
can't count on
complex.
Now, Oak Creek or Franklin there on Ryan Road, you'll probably find showers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true. I've been to that one.
Pilot and the Flying J, though. I mean, there's a grimy Flying J.
Yeah.
If you want to get in this afternoon, we can get you a shower.
I think you guys are
like
underestimating how many Quick Trips have showers.
I definitely am.
You're very much underestimating.
I definitely
and
am.
how close they actually might be.
Hey, where are you in Wisconsin? Does your Quick Trip have showers? We'd love to know.
And have you ever done what Armen Sarian is dreaming of doing and probably going to achieve
driver.
coming up this week and being able to shower in a Quick Trip?
If you're not a truck driver, the truck drivers have occasion to do that. They that's functional for a reason.
Are showers free?
Great question.
I think
you got to pay for a shower.
Pay for a shower?
I think you got.
So is there like
definitely got to take a ticket? I know because generally they call, and when I'm hanging out at my Quick Trip in Belgium, again, it's one of the greatest newest spots that they have. I see guys waiting, just sitting there. All right, sweet, number 16.
My ticket's in for a shower.
67.
And,
go take a shower.
Is there a time limit?
I mean, I was always a fan of Belgium, but now that you tell me there's showers at the Quick Trip, because that's a great state park up there.
Yes.
Is that Harrington Beach?
Or
is that Kohler Andre? One of those is near Belgium.
I think Harrington Beach. I think.
Great state park.
I'm not positive. But yeah, I think that's just off to the right, just off to the left of the freeway. Boom. I-43. One of my best friends.
County Road D in Belgium.
All right. Hard hike and then great shower.
Great shower. What a win. That's a phenomenal weekend.
That's a hell of a weekend. That's a hell of a weekend.
877-794-1973. Mike in Watertown. Johnson Creek Quick Trip has showers.
Oh, I bet.
All right,
Johnson
let's
Creek
start
is a
stacking 'em up.
destination right there.
Well,
Maybe I'll stop on my way back from Badgers postgame on Saturday.
You go to the Pine Cone and
They
get,
have to compete with the
That
pine
would be a
cone.
good
That's
one,
my
yes.
point. I had a chicken fried steak there once. It was good, man. It was good.
and then you had chicken fried steak for dinner that night and breakfast the next morning.
That's right. That's what I'm
Portions are
talking
large.
about. That's right. Towler says so many bathrooms that are always sparkling clean. You can eat your meal in the stalls. You could, but I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna go to the bathroom, sit on a stall, and eat my meal. That's not what I'm gonna do.
A friend of mine one time ate his wings on a toilet and at a bar in La Crosse.
Sounds like there was other parts of that story though, right? Was he like hungover? Was he drunk? Was he
Just hungry?
Yeah.
Well, wait, I think there was a plate and they were just hanging out there. He's like, wait, this is a full plate of wings. I think I might have a couple.
They're coming in. Ken on, yeah, that might be pretty good. Ken on Facebook, Highway 167 and Highway 41 in Hubertus has showers. Kohler Andre's in Sheboygan. All right, thank you, Zach. So everyone's chipping in with this stuff. We really appreciate that.
So now it's on you. Now I like the fact that we have squarely put the onus on Armen Sarian.
Yeah.
All this big talk about this being a
Big
dream
old
of
talk.
yours.
Big old talk.
Are we actually going to see Armen Sarian take a shower at a Quick Trip? 877-794-1973. And you'll have to listen to No BS to be able to find out.
Maybe during Geezer Palooza, maybe I'll do that. Cost of the shower. You don't know about Geezer Palooza?
No, just the idea that
that
you're going to do it
We
during
can't
a
wait that
station event or
Station
radio or
event.
whatever.
Yeah, I don't
whatever
think
event.
everybody
Yeah.
wants to be there when you take the shower.
They don't have to be in
I
the
think we
stall. I'm
Yeah,
going to take
but
the shower and come out. I'm not
I
going to
think
be.
we want to give you your privacy.
Do we give like the clap when you come out or something?
Yeah.
Oh, that way you can prove it that I did it. Like, what if I just call you over the weekend and said, by the way, I did it.
tunnel as he walks back out to the car of all of us.
Does someone
It's gonna
smell
be
him just
social
to
media.
make sure?
It's gonna be social media gold. He's gonna walk out in that robe.
Is it?
He's gonna
it? So
get
good.
a glazer, take a bite,
Yes.
pour himself a cup of coffee.
That's right. I'm definitely getting a 16 ounce for the Packers.
So
Definitely
nice to wake up and be able to take a shower at your local Quick Trip, have my coffee and breakfast.
Get my coffee and my
Beautiful
breakfast.
way to start my day. I
My
think that's
breakfast burrito.
Damn,
Sandwich.
you might become their best new influencer.
Listen, I'm out here. Quick Trip, if you want to talk to me. I know you're talking. I know you got our guy Matt Ramage already. I know
Remember,
Kurt
this
Bankert.
all started by us getting excited about the potential of a Buc-ee's coming. Not the potential, it's happening. A Buc-ee's coming to Oak Creek. And you said, how about y'all shut your mouth?
Potentially to the Madison area as well.
All right,
I'll go check out Buc-ee's. I'm not sitting here. I'm not trying to be a bad neighbor. I'm going to be somewhat welcoming, but I just want I want all the Quick Trips to know that I haven't forgot about the girls already at school. All right, I'm not like maybe that's not the right best reference to make.
New girl moves in to the school and everybody's very, very excited. You said, hey, ladies, I'm still here.
I'm still here. See,
you're still here.
That's
exciting.
That's the
It's
inefficiency.
exciting. Again, I live on south side of Milwaukee. The closest gas station to me is mostly a vape store. I mean,
That's
you can
what
get
it is.
gas there, but it's mostly a vape store.
You are kind of in a, I would say, a gas desert. You know, you're in a
Gas
gas
station desert.
You are. Yeah, the vape stores.
Or you could go to
so true.
Or there's the spot down on
It's an
Howell
old Taco
and
Bell.
Layton. It's got Suburbia in there.
Oh yeah, that's
a
Shell
great
station.
spot of mine.
Yeah, and they've got a car wash there too. I don't mind that place.
Don't get my dad started about Suburbia. He
But can you
loves
get
it.
vapes? That's the real question.
Oh, I'm sure you can get vapes.
Okay.
You gotta
The
find it
problem
at
with
Wendy's.
getting gas near the airport is the prices are slightly higher than
They
everywhere
are.
else.
Raising
because
those
rent a
up.
car, you got to get gas before you turn the car in. So
I still remember the first time my dad told me about that trick when we were filling up the car maybe 20 miles away from the airport. I'm like, well, we're not even close yet. We're saving money. All of a sudden I saw that number.
Oh yeah.
Dad was a genius to me at 7 years old once I realized that one.
You bet.
And the closer you get to Chicago, too, the gas is higher.
It does.
I think. So you have to get it before.
Yeah,
you
I
get
got
it.
off on the Lake Forest Oasis. Looked at the gas prices and said, I'd rather run out of gas.
The
I'm good.
amount of times I've been there.
I'll take the ticket on I-94.
The amount of times I'm getting off there at Lake Cooker. Oh my goodness. All right. 10 to 15 bucks. Some places may charge it. That's how much it costs for a shower. That's one thing I've wondered. And is there a time limit? Is there a time limit on the shower?
Well, what are you doing in there?
Get my money's worth. If I'm paying 15 bucks to take a shower, I'm getting my money's worth, Billy. I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to have all your little jokes here either. All right. What am I doing in there? I'm enjoying my shower. This is just a way for them to sell shampoo, too.
It said rinse, lather, repeat. I'm going to spend all my time in there.
I can run through a sprinkler for free.
If they have $15 showers, I would pay $30 for a Whirlpool tub.
Oh, that's
Half an
fair.
hour.
Yeah. I probably
For a long
wouldn't.
drive.
You can only pay $35 and you can get a Sybaris Whirlpool tub. So it's
a little different.
There's no standard time limit for truck stop showers.
Okay. They got a slide, Subaris.
That's fair. That's fair. That's what you're paying the extra $5 for.
And a waterfall, I think.
Those are only in certain ones.
I'll get you.
All right.
Dolph, you got a beautiful list of headlines there as we go into a Football Friday weekend. What did we miss?
I'm
here?
just watching the highlights of last night's game. Josh Allen was lucky to come out of that one alive. He was abused last night by the Texans.
But they almost won on that.
They did.
I think the story of the game would have been the Texans blowing it on this hook and ladder. If the Bills could actually have scored, that was one of the coolest. You don't see a play that executed that well anymore. The old time hook and ladder.
When he got slammed on the turf, maybe the second time by Anderson
From
as he
behind-
started
from behind.
From behind, I
Yeah.
didn't think he was coming back in.
That was brutal.
That was really, really impressive. He's a huge cat, though. So, like, to be able to get him down, Will Anderson had to do anything possible, and he took liberties hitting him last night. That's for sure.
it was a great atmosphere. The Texans still have a shot to make the playoffs,
They do.
right?
They do. This is a great example of why you should never give up in this league. They're probably, the CJ Stroud hype 2 years ago was something, and then it was like, okay, it hasn't been there's no protection. Davis Mills is the quarterback now, but he's done a really good job. And all of a sudden now they're sitting here, I believe 6-5. If I'm not mistaken, 6-5.
Yeah,
and they're in the mix right there. They have a great point differential. I know some people don't like that stat. I love my analytics, and
you do.
This is a better team than people think. So we'll see what the Texans can do here down the stretch.
CJ Stroud, we thought we finally have an Ohio State quarterback that's going to be
finally right
successful in the NFL.
They thought. What about Julian Sand? That kid is good.
Wow. Is he ever?
Is he going to win the Heisman? There's a big debate on this.
It's going to be either you or your boy or him. It's either going to be Mendoza or him.
Right.
Even though my Marcel Reed ticket at 11-1, I sure thought had a chance. But
don't throw it away.
No shot. Come on, you come back from 30-3.
I mean,
you should at least get some love. Haynes King, most yards and touchdowns in all of college football, not even going to get a sniff. Come on, Heisman voting committee.
So we're getting into the most exciting time of the year for me anyway. You got all the holiday basketball tournaments.
Yes.
And Badgers playing a day game today out in Salt Lake City against Utah. I know
afternoon game.
Yeah, 3 o'clock.
I mean, it is a day game, I guess.
Yeah, it's a day game. It's my favorite part. My favorite tip time of the year.
BYU, so make your jokes. They're playing BYU. But listen, they got a little bit of a little revenge.
Yeah, this was an NCAA tournament loss last year. Badger football, senior night tomorrow night at the camp. Billy, you're going to be there, right?
Going to be there.
Yeah.
Going to be excited to watch. Brett Bielema catch Fat L at Camp Randall Stadium.
So if they do that, if they shock the world and do that, and then win at Minnesota, there's a chance they could go bowling, right? Because now it's not regular, but 5 teams go to bowl games now because there's 82 teams needed, something like that.
If we can check that GPA. We got to get that GPA to be the top one in the of the qualifying
so
teams.
It's based on grades.
It's based on team GPA
I'm not worried about Wisconsin.
of the 5 and 7
You're
teams.
right, Billy. Yeah, that's right.
I love that.
Come on.
I mean, I wouldn't have loved that as a student.
Yes, because we would not have been going.
No.
Listen, you might have a shot at the New Mexico Bowl. But the worst one, you think? The worst of all.
Well, we talked about the other day about the Sun Bowl. Remember that conversation? I looked it up when I got out of here. The Sun Bowl, the coldest game ever, I think, was 24 degrees at kickoff. And I think it was recent. It was like Alabama and somebody like in 2010. And feels like temperatures were in the teens that day.
Someone that works in upper management at a university told me that the Sun Bowl, they take such good care of you once you get down there because they realize there's nothing to do.
Well, that's the thing.
It's not going to have a whole lot to do.
Some places have the nice swag.
Everybody, we got everything you want right here.
You don't need to leave.
We prefer you don't leave.
Or across the border.
Yeah, you ever go to Albuquerque? I have. Let me tell you, I was happy to get back home, okay?
As bad as Oklahoma City?
Well, I don't know. I haven't been to Oklahoma City.
Oh, okay.
You don't need to go.
Especially, hold on. We don't have time for that. We don't have time for that.
This is a whole new segment. This is the worst city you've ever been to.
Dolph, well, it's kind of our thing. It's our favorite deal. Now, sadly, your state gets into the crossfire quite a bit every once in a while.
Yeah, because you've been to Grinnell. That's why my state's in the crossfire. I've never even been to Grinnell, Iowa. And I grew up in Iowa. Huh?
What about Olwine?
Olwine, yeah, I've been to Olwine.
I stopped in Dubuque. They took 300 from me, so I didn't like it all that much.
Dubuque is underrated.
It's a fun town.
It is a fun town.
I have had a great time.
You got to ride the 4th Street, the Fenelon Place elevator straight up the side of the cliffs up to the top there.
See, if I would have won at the first casino, I probably would have stayed. Check
out my brother's bar there, Gary Dolphin's Iron Bar, the next time you're there.
Now, that's what I'm talking
about.
It's a good time. Stopping there.
Yeah.
Is that a bar?
Yeah. Gary Dolphin's Iron Bar. Check it out.
Let's go hit it up, and let's hit a quick timeout. We'll be right back. Appreciate it.
Boys, have a good weekend.
See you on Monday.
Sounds
have a good weekend to Scott Dolphin. Go and check him out on FM 106.1. Check us out on the other side. Micah Parsons is here before we hit 7 o'clock. It's No BS on the Game.
Stay tuned.
You do like to grab attention.
No BS will be back in just a moment. It's Border Battle Week. Stay with the game as we get you ready for the Packers and Vikings.
From 27 yards, left hash. Snap good, spot down. Walsh's kick is up, and it is no good. He missed it. Are you kidding me? The season can't end like that. He missed it left. And the Seattle Seahawks are off to Charlotte. 10-9. Favre goes back to pass. He pumps. Now he fires over the middle. Intercepted. I can't believe what I'm seeing right now. It was intercepted by Tracy Porter near side to the 40, and John Sullivan runs him down at the 47-yard line. You've got to be kidding me. I can't believe what I just saw. Looking at that play, he should have just held on to it, Paul. He should have. He could have easily got 5 or 6 yards if he would have just pulled that thing down and dove forward. But why do you even ponder passing? I mean, you can take a knee and try a 56-yard field goal. This is not Detroit, man. This is the Super Bowl.
Welcome to Rivalry Week. Welcome to the border battle. CJ in Columbus said, I think there's one in Arizona where he says the kick is good and the Vikings kicker ended up missing it. CJ, your memory is correct.
High snap, put down. Joseph, come on! It is good! No, he missed it. Good. Are you kidding me? He missed it right. He missed it right. Oh, my heavens. Oh, my. You missed it right. What a gut punch to a team. Paul, that play after play, toward the end, fought its way back. Missed it by like a foot.
Wayne also told us about that one because of where they were. He's like, you can't see the numbers, you can't see the kick, whatever it ends up being. But it is just a hilarious moment. But it's not even my favorite Paul Allen call that involves
Arizona.
The Arizona Cardinals.
Yes. Run, PA. 17, 16, 15.
See, they have to go deep into the end zone.
We better put some people in the end zone, right, Joe?
That's exactly right.
I mean, there's nobody inside the 10.
Get back there.
Here it is. The season's on the line. 2 receivers left and right. McCown takes the snap. He steps up.
He's all by himself. Fires into the end zone. Caught! Touchdown! No! No! The Cardinals have knocked the Vikings out of the playoffs. I believe it was caught by Nate Poole.
It was.
He's being mugged by his Cardinal teammates. They're Minnesota Vikings crying on the field.
Oh, and we love to see that part, Paul. Thank you for that last little drop. And thank you to our sister station, KFAN, for all of that illustrious audio.
Listen to No BS with Billy and Armen every weekday from 6 to 10 right here on The Game.
Eric Tasker here from Tailgate Talk. Paul Wagner and myself are back with a new show live anywhere you find podcasts. We gather around the tailgate and talk about the gun deer season in Wisconsin, the statewide holiday that is Orange Friday, and some of the DNR's anticipation with a high harvest for this year's gun deer season. It's a great time to be in the woods, but if you need something to get you through your day or driving up to deer camp, just search for Tailgate Talk on the iHeartRadio app or everywhere you find podcasts.
iHeartRadio soundtrack flashback.
1994 was the center of grunge, and the film Reality Bites perfectly reflected that. Its soundtrack was a fitting accomplishment, but it was Lisa Loeb's Stay that stood out.
So I turned the radio on, I turned the radio on, and this woman was singing my song. Lover's in love and the others run away. Lover is crying cause the other won't stay.
For more great movie soundtrack hits, check out Popcorn Radio on the iHeartRadio app.
Message marked urgent.
We're here for you now on the NicoleLaw.com talk and text line.
Hey, I'm just trying to find some answers here.
At 1-877-794-1973.
No BS on The Game. You can find us on YouTube and X as well as Facebook. Dobler hit us up, said, Armen, can we get a photo op of you with the Buc-ee's beaver mascot? Now, I think that's a phenomenal idea.
Is he there?
Is he
always there?
The opening, he'll be there.
Okay,
Yeah.
I mean,
he's been there for some of the media opportunities. When we get the next heads up that they're letting media go and check it out, we're going to try to see if we can get you in there. And then maybe you and the beaver can hang out.
Hey, wait, if there's a media event like there's free stuff, then I'm in.
Oh, then I know
I'm
you're
in.
Then there might be free showers.
Yeah, that's a great thing. What if I took the first shower? Do they have showers there? I don't know. I'm assuming so.
They got 128. 128 gas pumps. Yeah, they got showers. They might even have a spot to get a pedicure in
People are getting sweaty just walking in to pay for their gas.
Yeah. Getting hot and heavy in there.
But, all right, I'm in.
It's also hot and heavy in a pocket when Micah Parsons is heating up your quarterback. Now, the pressures have been there. The sacks maybe not have been to the number that a lot of people are hoping for. Micah Parsons said it when he first got here. Somebody better be getting ready in the back end because I've never not played with a all-pro or Pro Bowl cornerback. Well, I'm waiting to see the production on the takeaways. But Micah Parsons was asked to start up yesterday. How much in the head can you get of a quarterback, especially a young quarterback? You arrive, you hit them early and often. Can you start to see a quarterback have eyes getting a little bit jumpy, feeling like they get a little skittish? Do you feel like you get in the head of a quarterback when you get there early?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, anytime you get to a quarterback first quarter, first play, maybe not sack him, but constant pressure, it definitely makes him look over his head a little bit, kind of know where you're at. And if he's looking at you, he's not looking downfield, so we're doing something right.
Like it's been a bit since you guys played a division game way back in week 1. What do you make of the NFC North?
Oh, it's one of the toughest divisions in football, if not the best division, besides with the NFC West. So, this is a competitive, very competitive division. You got, multiple teams over 6 wins right now, halfway through the point. So, we got to come together. Even though the Vikings had early struggles, they showed times of winning and coming back and being resilient and being that team that we seen last year. And obviously that came with McCarthy being out. That's kind of when a couple of losses unfolded when they went against some of the better teams in the NFC. So this is a really good team, and we got to come prepared.
Obviously, you weren't here last year, but this team, the Packers, won 1 division game last year.
Yeah, we already won one, so we can only go up from here.
Okay.
You know Aaron Jones pretty well, right?
Yeah.
What makes him a difficult guy to get on the ground?
I just think he runs for every yard. He runs with passion, purpose. behind every carry. And I think he has great vision. You know, I think I've competed with him when I was at Dallas and he was here, and he's always had some pretty good games. But, you know, I think we're a great front. And I mean, basically what we've been saying, if they're going to come run it 35 times, we got to be prepared for that.
Like, I know it's always just one game at a time, of course, but how do you just view this? 7 games left, 5 of them are in the division, and just how this is kind of shaping up.
I mean, it's shaping up like how you want it. You know, this is playoff football. These are all teams that you're eventually going to see trying to get to that Super Bowl. So we got to compare. It's almost December. November's almost up. And this is what we need. You know, I understand we got injuries and we're tested in all different ways, but adversity is when teams rise. And, you know, when guys get back and we continue getting healthy and we kind of know what we got from guys we didn't know and guys stepping up, I think we're going to be a really good football team.
Speaking of injuries, what did you know about Josh Jacobs when you got here, and what does it mean for a guy like that to go out there and practice just a few days after an injury?
I mean, Josh has always put the team before himself every single time, whether it was calf strains, whether it's hands, muscles. I mean, he's kind of always been that guy that, like, I'm pushing through it. I'm putting my life out here for y'all and let us know how much he cares about us. And, you know, that kind of shows you, like, his mental toughness, what he brings to this team, what he brings to the game. And you see it in his play style. I mean, his play style is aggressive as hell. That's how he attacks his treatment. That's how he attacks, you know, his practice regimen. And he feels like if he was capable to practice today, that, you know, that means a lot, having one of your leaders out there on the field, knowing what he's going through. That's challenging as hell. But, you know, that's kind of the guy he is, and I couldn't be more happy to be his teammate.
How do you feel like the run game defense was against the Giants?
Good. I mean, they had, you know, I think maybe 2 or 3 runs that got out, but I think most of the game, I mean, we had it 2 and 3 yards a carry. You know, we was pretty good. But, of course, eventually every team's going to get 1 or 2 runs that kind of make it the yards per carry jump a little bit. But, I mean, we had 19 points, so the run couldn't have been that great.
You got plenty of experience being double teamed.
Yeah.
And been that way for a while. When did you be able to, you know, reconcile it with you? That's going to happen all the time, and then you just have to deal with it. I mean, have you get to that point?
Yeah, and then guys remind me that's what comes with $47 million. Like, you think you're being paid that much just because you can't do your job at a high level? Like, that's what's going to come. That's coming with the territory. So I just got anticipated. Like, I know it's coming. The guys know it's coming. It's just preparing for it. How do you beat it? You got to find a way. I've seen guys on film find a way, and that's what I got to continue to do is find a way. That's all it's about, finding a way. No excuses, no whatever. Double teams is part of the game. Chips are part of the game. But I got to find a way to get home and bring constant pressure and bring the other guys around me better.
Now, I know that is going to be maybe the best quote that you're going to hear from Mike Parsons, even though he is an A1 quote all the time. He's spot on. Hey, man, that's what happens. That's the attention you get when you're paid $47 million and you're the top defensive player, one of the top defensive players in football. You got to be able to find a way. And finding a way is key. We got to be able to do it more consistently with getting home.
Well, indeed, and he always drops bars. I love 90. I didn't think the run D was good enough. That's the one thing I'll disagree with him about. But other than that, yeah, he drops absolute bar. I love the way he talked about Josh Jacobs too.
Oh, phenomenal, phenomenal stuff.
Is.
When you got a leader like that, it's hard to go anywhere else. Don't go anywhere else. Hour number 2 and No BS is straight ahead. You got it on the game.
Miss an hour of No BS?
Honestly, Billy, I don't think you'd miss it.
You can find all of the shows in podcast form. Just search No BS on the iHeartRadio app.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Bryan Adams to reflect on the reality of his first platinum record.
I can tell you when I bought my first platinum record, which was Cuts Like a Knife. And I can remember after getting the record and thinking, oh, this is great, you know, and sticking it up and looking at it and thinking, yeah, cool. And then phoning up my manager about 3 months later and saying, you know, Bruce, this record went platinum, but we didn't make any money. Well, you know, where's the money? And he said, well, you know, you basically paid back everything you spent and you basically did for the last 4 years. So you may have a platinum record, but, you know, sorry, there's no money. It wasn't until then I realized how tough it was. And okay, yeah, you might get a single that goes to top 10 and maybe you get 2 and maybe you sell a schooling records because of it, but it doesn't mean you can go out and buy a house.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Bryan Adams and all your favorite artists.
It's the greatest story in sports.
Star dropping straight back. Kennedy throws, has the ball. It is McGee, touchdown.
I'm Doug Russell, and this is Tales from 1265, an insider's look at football's most storied franchise. A franchise that has had its dynasties.
This is the first Super Bowl trophy, and it's something Green Bay can keep. We're going to have a new trophy each year.
And its rebirths.
Every major football decision will be made by Ron Wolf.
I realize I'm a Green Bay Packer now, and maybe I can prove that I am worth the first-round pick next year, but just got to be patient.
But I was really impressed with the coaching staff, with the whole organization, and with the direction the team is going. I think they have a total commitment to winning.
Tales from 1265 is presented by Nicolay Law, your local award-winning injury lawyers. If you've been injured, get Nicolay, Wisconsin's winning team of lawyers that will get you back in the game. Tales from 1265 is a production of iHeartRadio Podcasts and is available on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Music, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Now, a year in rock spotlight. 1975.
In November, Queen's fourth album is a worldwide smash with the single Bohemian Rhapsody. It hits number 1 in the UK and number 4 in the US. Fast forward to December, Bob Marley and the Wailers released their live album recorded at 2 concerts in London in July. And Paul Simon has a number 1 album with Still Crazy After All These Years. The album produces 4 top 10 hits.
Hop on the bus, you don't need to discuss much. Just drop off the key and get yourself free.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1975 coming up.
This is No BS with Billy and Armen on Wisconsin's home for the best sports talk and other stuff. The Game.
You may not play for your favorite team, but you act like it. Whether you're at work or outside on the grill, you carry them with you. No, not with a jersey, but a mindset as you crack open that ice-cold beer. Cheesehead TV and Gathering Place Brewing bring you Carry the G, a delicious and easy drinking cream ale. But it's not just for tailgating, it's for everyday life.
Well, we carry the G wherever we may be, so bring me a cold from the land of the green and gold.
Now available throughout Wisconsin. 21 plus. Drink responsibly.
Classic Cuts.
Inspiration can strike musicians in the strangest places. Paul McCartney says the idea for writing the Beatles' Hey Jude came to him en route to a visit with John Lennon's ex-wife and son. Of course, the boy's name wasn't Jude, but Julian.
I was just going out to say hello to Cynthia and Julian. And I started coming up with these words. In my own mind, I was kind of talking to Julian. So I kind of got the first sort of idea on the way out there with this Hey Jules, as I thought it was going to be called. It seemed a little bit of a mouthful, so I changed it to Jude.
Hey Jude, don't make it bad. Take a sad song and make it better. Remember to let her into your heart. Then you can start to make it better.
Alzheimer's disease is the 6th leading cause of death in the country, and it's affecting almost 7 million Americans, including 110,000 people here in Wisconsin. UW-Madison is working hard to improve the lives of those affected, offering resources to educate and the latest in research and technology. The UW initiative to end Alzheimer's has so many ways you can benefit, learn, get involved, and make a difference. Visit goalsforacure.org. That's goalsforacure.org.
Message marked urgent.
We're here for you now on the NicolayLaw.com talk and text line at 1-877-794-1973.
Single back offense, Love under center. Here's the handoff. Emmanuel Wilson finds a crease up the middle to the end zone. Touchdown, and the Packers vault into the lead.
No BS on the Game. Billy and Sarian with you on a championship Friday in the good land. What a beautiful day to be alive, hanging out with all of you on the NicolayLaw.com talking text line. That's 877-794-1973. That's Armen Sarian. I'm Billy Schmidt. Watched some state title games yesterday. Watched the Bucks and Sixers. 54 from Tyrese Maxey. Now,
he's crazy right now.
Man,
he's going crazy.
Armen, I will be the first to admit I didn't buy it. I didn't buy the Tyrese Maxey is going to be a superstar conversation 2 years ago when it was Embiid pre 11th and 14th injuries.
Yeah, when it was like Embiid and like he was the other piece.
It was Embiid and Harden, and
right,
Maxey was coming up on the back end. And James Harden was really, really good in Philadelphia. I'm like, okay, this is probably his best landing spot. And everyone's like, no, gas him, give the keys to Tyrese Maxey.
It just shows
maybe.
But it just shows you what a good young guard can do. And he's really emerged into one of the young stars. And they have a lot of good young guards last night. It was very frustrating watching them cut our guys up because Maxey was incredible filling it up. For a while, you're right, Billy. You know, for a while, he was one of my most consistent, like, over bets on points because he was hitting it so much when he was emerging. And now he's become a legit star in this league as a guard that's, you know, he's like a poor man's he's
going to turn into a perennial all-star.
He's really good
with some of the stuff that he's doing now.
VJ Edgecombe's had a good rookie season for them, and some dude, Quentin Grimes has been good, and then some dude Edwards who hadn't scored all game starts scoring on us in the overtime period. So a frustrating one last night for the Bucks because I thought they fought pretty hard without Giannis against a team that looks like it's going to be one of the better young teams in the East. They have a pretty good record. They're 9-6 now that the Sixers do. So that was a little frustrating because now the Bucks are back to 8-8, and you're sitting there like, okay, we had a great start, but now we have to figure things out again without Giannis. It was a good game. Ryan Rollins did his thing last night. Bobby Portis chipped in, but not enough, unfortunately, to beat this young backcourt from the Sixers. That was just mixing you up last night, putting you in the popcorn machine.
Yeah, and I mean, the Miles Turner triple to tie throws up the antlers, which was an awesome.
It was amazing. The antlers.
That was like the antlers.
And Lisa said, like, this is Miles' moment. This is his moment, which it could have been, but couldn't get the stop.
Well, he could have had another moment if they would have gotten it back to him.
Yeah, I know.
It does pop open there. He would have probably been a maybe better shot than the one you get at the end of regulation. But hey, in the flow, it's going to happen.
That was a different situation though than like the Marquette end of game situation.
By far, at least Ryan Rollins gets a shot up,
and it was a lot less time, right, to develop something.
And sure.
And Ryan's a guard, so it's hard to set up a forward or a center for a final shot. You know,
although when he pops open, straight ahead,
it was there.
The key,
it was there. Yeah,
it was off the screen.
If you see him, he's there. Yeah. You should have seen him.
You probably would have seen him if you were looking. But again, like, hey, in hand raised in air, like, I get it. Yeah. I totally understand Ryan Rollins head down. Like you said, 3.5 seconds to go. I'm going to get the best look I possibly can. I'm not thinking of giving it off because, hey, man, I'm Ryan Rollins, dude.
And get a shot up. I think he watched the Marquette game and he goes, I got to get a shot up.
At least he got a shot up, dude. At least he got a shot up. The worst thing you could do was go in back-to-back days at Fiserv Forum and watch the home team have a chance at the end of regulation and not take a shot.
Yeah, that would have been tough. So a game last night that could have been a really good win. Unfortunately, just not enough, an overtime loss. And man, the Sixers have kind of changed the way they're doing things here. Yeah, they've kind of changed that. So it just shows you what you can do if you develop young talent, young backcourt talent. They picked the right guy. It seems like an Edgecombe.
They definitely got the right guy in Edgecombe at 3.
So they got that guy. I don't know if we're going to be redrafted in the year or not. We've been making jokes about that all week.
You think we're going to wait a year for a redraft? Armen, they're going to redraft in 2 weeks.
You got me messed up, right? I mean, that's what we do.
Probably the first redraft will come in between NFC and AFC title game and Super Bowl.
Oh my gosh, yes.
This is what you missed in the NBA.
Yeah.
We already know these guys suck. We're going to redraft it. I think Cooper will still be number 1, but Edgecombe will definitely go pretty close to the top there in that redraft. 877-794-1973. Been having a lot of fun this morning. Jake and Waukshaw's been enjoying it. He said, morning, boys.
What's up?
The random talk about bathrooms and food at Quick Trip from the text line. Exactly the stuff I love mixed in this early.
Thank you. That's what we do. I mean, it is a different.
That one had me and my 14-year-old laughing. Then I had to feel old and remind him that we met Billy and Tim Allen at Brewers on Deck.
Let's go.
Way back before COVID. Armen, what's your favorite Nelly banger?
My favorite Nelly banger. This is a great question. This is a tough one, and I'm very happy to answer it because why not? We're going to extend the AMA.
I know you're excited to answer it.
My all-time favorite Nelly banger was probably Ride With Me. I mean, I love that from Country Grammar. That was a great one, but I love Heart of the Champion when I'm doing a workout, which doesn't happen a lot. But when I'm working out or doing like a run
every couple months,
yeah, Heart of a Champion is a great one.
You did have me at that.
I think I've been
You
to
had me there for a second when I paused when you said, when I'm in the middle of a workout.
Probably been to like 4 or 5 Nelly.
They took that exercise room out of here.
They took that out
3 years ago. So I don't know
what's going on.
Yeah, some guys' office.
Sorry,
now.
go ahead.
Country Grammar, though, I mean, was his first hit, and that was an amazing one. And there was the story of Nelly's pretty interesting in his career, and now he's finally him and Ashanti are together, which is we wanted that 25 years ago.
I just can't believe that you didn't even mention the best Nelly song of all time.
Well, there's EI, there's Just a Dream, there's Cruise.
Keep trying.
What are we doing here? What's
are you not going to smile for me, Daddy?
Oh, well, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Come on, you're going to tell me Grills isn't going to be at the top of the list?
You know what? I got to say, I love the Air Force Ones. I love it. That's okay. Okay.
Come on now.
This is a good one too.
After I'm watching Jack Jones on every television show involving the NFL, he added a whole top diamond and the bottom row was also diamonds. He had one of the best grills I've ever seen.
Man, those jewelers are doing work for these guys.
So come on, let me hear a little bit of this, Letty.
Got 30 down at the bottom, 30 more at the top. All invisible scent and little ice cube blocks. If you could call it a drink, call it a smile on the rocks. If they call out a price,
no, this is good.
It's not even close.
Platinum and white gold, traditional gold. I'm changing grills every day.
Like you change clothes.
I might be grilled out nicely.
Oh,
in my white tee.
Oh,
on South Beach.
Oh,
in my wife beat.
Yeah, that's a winner right there.
That is good.
Jake and Waukesha. It's an easy answer there, and I apologize for Armen taking so long to come up with the right.
He has so many bangers. He had so many. There was a lot of songs that didn't become big hits that were good. Like King of the City was really good.
Very good one.
I love Air Force One still to this day. I think that's just they made Nike so much money with that song. It's crazy.
A ton.
They
Zach said
Splurge.
Splurge is mine.
Splurge is a good one.
Dilemma is another good one.
Dilemma is probably one of his biggest charting hits. I mean, this was crazy hit.
Kelly Rowland,
Kelly
right?
Rowland from Destiny's Child.
How's she doing?
They had a sequel to the song. Like
good.
I don't know.
I imagine.
I haven't looked her up.
Good.
They had a song
Sounds
called
great.
Gone that was like the sequel to this years later. That didn't really hit, but I thought was really good. Banger. Larry Hughes was in this video. Remember the old NBA Larry Hughes?
Number 8?
Yeah, he was the other guy in the video. Larry Hughes. You don't remember Larry Hughes on those Wizards teams? Wasn't he Wizards?
Yeah, and then he meandered his way over to Cleveland for a little bit.
Cleveland, yes, that's what it was. Thank you, Luddy.
Yeah,
Laughing at me.
He was supposed to take LeBron over the top, and then it wasn't even really that close.
No, I don't. I apologize. I don't remember Larry Hughes. However, Larry Hughes the second just committed to CSUN.
Yeah,
I've heard of it.
Looks like a
California's
Division II school. There you
Yeah.
go. Yeah, I don't remember.
That's
Larry
Northridge.
Hughes. I definitely
Cal State Northridge, Big West. Sorry.
Look at you. I definitely should have known Larry Hughes. I mean, he was Steals champion in 04-05. How on earth
I
could
thought you knew him because he would play with
Apologize.
LeBron and everything like that.
No, I definitely.
He was on the
definitely
07
should have
team
thought.
that got swept by the Spurs, I think.
Well, he was in the Nelly video, so there you go.
Hey, man, better deal than me.
He saw
Chuck at West Bend said, come on, guys. Are you seriously forgetting Pimp Juice?
That was another one. It's too many.
Very, very true.
They don't have
very
Pimp
true,
They don't have
Chuck. I
Pimp Juice
apologize.
or Heart of a
Drill.
Champion in the iHeart system here. What are we doing?
There's too many bangers.
You're not wrong.
He has so many songs. It's crazy. It's crazy.
We got Cinnamon. Oh, that's Neil Young.
I saw him at the
Cinnamon Girl.
Yeah, that could have been.
Neil Young's right below Nelly.
Listen, I saw him at Tacos and Tequilas Fest.
I was hoping you were going to fire into like Neil Diamond accidentally right after.
We might on the way out. Probably
that
not.
works out. All right. 877-794-1973.
All right. Nelly
Iowa.
bangers.
Hey, man, even though Nelly's a diehard Cardinals fan, Armin, you're going to rip through and celebrate him? That's a good question.
I think his grandpa was a Dodgers fan.
First time I saw Nelly at Summerfest. Very, very good time. Very good time. Also, anybody say hot in here?
Yeah, I did at one point, but
sorry,
we had so many
breeze through.
The thing about Nelly being a Cardinal, I mean, he's from the Lou, okay? So St. Louis, he had to represent the Midwest. He was like representing the Midwest rap scene at the time. That was a big deal. We didn't have that, so it was. I think he's just representing his hometown.
I was gonna say, but
I don't think he's out there. He's not gonna roll up to you and talk about David Freese. I could be wrong.
He could.
He could.
Maybe he's a big time Ollie Marmol fan or hater. Maybe he's tweeting about him.
I was watching the Nelly and Ashanti. They have like a reality show because they're like together now.
Yeah,
and he made it very clear that the office is in St. Louis because she's from New York, and they're like, "Where are we going to settle down?" They have a kid, and he goes, "Listen, I work in St. Louis. My office is in St. Louis." I made that very clear.
I love that.
It was really good. It was really good.
I love that.
You also got to look up. I don't know that it's worth watching the whole show, but you.
I'm gonna bet the under, but I might check it out.
But the funniest 5 minutes of the show is when they went shopping for beds, and he did not like the price of the bed that they were trying to offer him, or as they called it, a sleeping instrument. He was so mad, and he was like, you got me. Get me out of this bed right now. Get me out of this place. $50,000 for some crazy.
$50,000 for a bed?
It was a crazy number.
What happens when you go shopping in the Ozarks?
It was a crazy number. It was like a super fancy thing. I don't know what it was.
What does the bed do?
They called it a sleeping instrument, Billy. That's what they called it.
My God.
It was so funny. I got to find that clip. It's actually worth looking up on YouTube if they
let it get your head out of the gutter. I heard you on that.
Ryan and Freeman, High Horse is a banger.
I was thinking like a warming, cooling side, sleep number, firmness.
Waterbed.
Watch yourself over there. 877-794-1973.
Eddie from Styles. Tip Drill is a staple on BET Uncut at 2 a.m. Yeah, you would be up at 2 a.m. watching that show, I think, Eddie. I know you, Eddie. You would be watching that, so that's pretty good.
Farmer Fred, Armen?
Yes.
Bucky's might be that new girl that strolls in.
Well, guess what? I stay loyal.
But she comes with 1982 front row cheap trick tickets, and her grandpa has Packers season tickets.
Oh, I see.
Are amazing.
I see.
Farmer Fred,
from a 7 to a 9.
Great work by Farmer Fred. So add in some factor there. Farmer Fred said, just know what you're talking about here when you're talking about a Bucky's.
Yeah.
It's bringing heat.
As you know, though, I'm all about convenience. So if it's on my way, I'll stop. Let's put it that way.
It's actually going to be somewhat close to you.
It's going to be on the, Ryan exit or something?
Ron and Stallis. Y'all can have your Bucky's. I'll keep my Quick Trip. I went to a Bucky's in Texas a couple of years ago, and it was too darn much. Sensory overload.
It is a lot.
Gas stations are supposed to be quick and convenient, not going to a Sam's Club.
Yeah, and I grew up going to Super
That's a pretty fair counterpoint.
Yeah, Sam's Club. That's true. That's a good point. It's like a warehouse, basically. It's huge when you go into one of those places, I think. So, from what I've seen, at least. So, listen, I grew up going to Super America. All right, those aren't even around anymore. Those are speedways now.
Yeah, I do believe there's some SNAs up in Minnesota.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, let's go.
Yeah, which is they can keep them over there. We'll enjoy Speedway.
Mm-hmm. Now I was
take it with us. David Fox Point also did say, I think truck stop showers are free for truckers with a certain amount of fuel purchased.
Makes
Dave,
sense.
That's a very probably fair point. Maybe we just load up all the gas we can think of in all the containers possible. That gives you a reason to go to the gas station.
That's not
so you don't feel
looking.
like it's out of the way, and then you go take a shower.
Not supposed to play for comps, Billy. That's what they tell you. You're not supposed to play for comps, but I guess that's true. If there's one guy that would do that, it'd be me. Why? Oh, Jerry in the plow truck got me on the Bucky's logo, but it's not me. It's the Chat GPT me. Why are there so many AI? AI does pretty well with my face.
You're pretty easy to Chat GPT.
It really is. Chat GPT.
That face is not as good as the one we got of you with the creepy neighbors the other day.
No, not as good. But my point is,
I would like to let everybody know, or the individual know, because I do apologize. I forget who sent us that one. It was phenomenal. I did share it around the building, and it was a hit. So I just want you to know that it was not just us who enjoyed AI Armen being the creepy neighbor at the party, waving to everybody and being way too excited to be at the new neighborhood round robin. Everybody in the building in the Megaplex enjoyed it. So
yes,
that hit Milwaukee all. That hit the whole building. So everybody was able to feast on that one.
Yeah, they were.
Except Armen. I excluded you from that.
Apparently, there's no. It's not a truck
I've never
stop.
been on that email.
Yeah,
thread,
you're not
so,
on that one. Sorry,
yeah,
I checked out all the addresses.
It's a travel center, not a truck stop. So no semis are allowed on the property. I didn't know that. That's what Texas told us. 281. Bob from Texas back. Best barbecue sandwiches, man. Bob from Texas loves it.
Let's go, Bob from Texas.
And thanks, Bob, for finding us and listening to us and checking us out.
He also said caters to buses, RVs, hunters, etc. Hey, shout out hunters today.
It's gonna be a big day for
hunters. Shout out
hunters.
to the hunters this week.
Shout out to my
We're pulling for all of you.
Yeah. It's also my parents' anniversary.
Hey.
Now they famously were getting married this day in 1981, I believe. Yes. And they had some people upset that they were getting married on the opening of gun season. So that was, but they didn't really know that was going to be a problem. So, but they got through it, of course. But happy anniversary, Mom and Dad.
Did anybody show up in a blaze orange suit, or was that not necessarily the outfit at that time?
I don't think so.
Were we dicing it up with more camouflage at that time?
This was the early 80s, so that might have just been a regular occurrence in suits. You know what I mean?
Fair.
This is the early 80s, late 70s, obviously. So this might have been just a regular occurrence. So, that's pretty good. Justin and Nina talked about free for truckers of the
50 gallons of gas, but a shower could be purchased for anyone with a small fee. I think it was $8 if I remember correctly. Well, listen, $8 way too much. Harmon's paying. We're not paying $8.
I'll do it once. I'll do it once for the novelty. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be out here taking $8 showers every day. What do you think I'm made of?
Dave Ramsey would hate that strategy.
Do you see the price of coffee these days at the grocery store? I don't know if you did. It's been going up big time, so I got to save my money.
You did? Well, the price per pound went up?
Oh, my goodness. In the last year, if you buy grocery store coffee, which obviously I do, I buy it for home. We have it at home. It's gone up crazy numbers in the last year. Crazy numbers. Jeez. Now, of course, I tweeted about it this morning, so if you had my alerts on, you would have known that.
I've seen it. You better believe it. Yep.
So I'm just saying, man.
You would have had it already in your inbox, and you would have known that, hey, the price of playing poker is going up if you're buying grocery store coffee. Or if you're shopping in the cornerback or pass rusher department in the NFL. Or if you're looking for a good point guard in the NBA. Price going up. Price playing poker is going up. Or in college basketball. Badgers take on a very high-priced outfit today. We'll talk some Cougars and Badgers from Salt Lake City on the other side. Also, Badgers and Illini before Senior Day at Camp Randall. More Packers conversation with you as well. Wayne Larravee's here in about 45 minutes. It's No BS with Billy and Armen on the game.
It's only Tuesday. I like the cocky, bow-legged ones, like white and Dominicans, Hispanics and Asians. He shaking for Nelly's son. Manolos, Manolos. I can't tell everybody and they just when you do it when you take it low. Girl, go take it low.
Stay tuned.
You do like to grab attention.
No BS will be back in just a moment. It's an NFC North battle at Lambeau Field on Sunday as the Packers host the Vikings.
It's going to come down to a couple plays. That's how most of the games are in this league. And I've got a lot of respect for those guys over in Minnesota. I think they got a great roster. I think they got a great coaching staff. So it should be a great football game. Hopefully our fans will show up in droves and not sell their tickets to the Vikings fans, because we've seen that happen before too.
We're getting you ready for the matchup all day on the game. Drew and KB on the game.
We're riding the K train. Cato Kalin joins the program. Hey, the Just a Bit Outside documentary from your friend Kelly Call and his crew was phenomenal. I've watched it a bunch of times. We make all of our young listeners and our young coworkers watch it to see what it was like with the 82 Brewers and why that team is so beloved. I'm just wondering, Cato, what memories did that bring back for you when you saw it?
It was great because first of all, when they beat the Angels, coming back 3 games in a row, it's phenomenal. I remember going to so many games. Harvey Keene was amazing. The whole gang. One time I did an event, and it was actually when I was living in LA, but I was flown to Milwaukee when the Potawatomi sort of just opened, and I was a guest of a huge charity, and my seat was next to Moose Haw, and I had the guy was great. He lives in Scottsdale now. So I stayed, we exchanged numbers, and we just reminisced about how great he was and how great the Brewer was just during that whole entire time. I mean, Vukovic, Gorman Thomas, it was so blue collar that, everybody gravitates that this team has got to win it all, which they didn't.
You can find all of the shows in podcast form. Just search Drew and KB on the iHeartRadio app.
iHeartRadio is the easy-to-use app for music and radio. Download the free iHeartRadio app today.
You may not play for your favorite team, but you act like it. Whether you're at work or outside on the grill, you carry them with you. No, not with a jersey, but a mindset as you crack open that ice-cold beer. Cheesehead TV and Gathering Place Brewing bring you Carry the G, a delicious and easy drinking cream ale. But it's not just for tailgating, it's for everyday life.
Well, we carry the G wherever we may be, so bring me a cold from the land of the green and gold.
Available throughout Wisconsin, 21 plus, drink responsibly.
And a base hit up the middle. 1-0 Brewers. South Freelick drives in the first run of the game. Yelich into shallow right. That's a base hit. Freelick is going to come around and score. Through the hole, a base hit. Perkins sent around third. He'll score. For Joey Ortiz is Freelick to right. Back Simon looking up. It's off the top of the wall to bounce. Ortiz around third. He'll score. Collins down the left field line. A fair ball and into the corner. Freelick scores. Contreras a BB in the left. Here comes Collins. Throw from Pham is late. They keep pecking away. Trying to get something started against Carmen Majinski in this sixth inning with a 1-run lead. And that's a fair ball down to the right field corner. 2 runs will score. Towards the middle and through a base hit. Perkins scores. Line drive base hit. Ortiz is in. Freelick's in. Contreras to third. The Brewers have hung a dozen on Pittsburgh. Tobias Myers kicks and deals. Struck him out. 12 in a row for the Brewers, and it's burger time in Milwaukee.
Saving energy saves you money. Whether you switch to Energy Star light bulbs, install Energy Star windows, or add extra insulation. Learn more at EnergySavers.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Energy and the Ad Council.
Message marked urgent.
We're here for you now on the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line at 1-877-794-1973.
Maybe this is how they'll celebrate in Provo, Utah, if the Cougs get a victory over the
there's
Wisconsin
no Wang
Badgers
chugging
tonight.
out there.
There's no Wang chugging up there?
No Wang chugging.
That's against the honor code, too?
Uh-huh.
Damn.
Yeah.
I thought everybody wanted a Wang Chung tonight.
We can Wang Chung down in Colorado City, but that's a little different.
Colorado City in Utah, or is that in Colorado?
It's on the border of Arizona and Utah, so you can get either side of it.
Of course.
If you want.
Oh, okay, okay.
Of course,
I
Colorado
strategically
City's on the
placed.
Utah,
well, I had a
Arizona
feeling this was
border.
a Kansas City and Missouri kind of thing. I just wanted to clarify.
a little
Okay.
different.
Okay, a little different then. Okay, sweet. 877-794-1973.
Jonah in River Falls wants to give good luck to all the hunters.
Come on.
So congratulate. Yeah, it's so gun season is today. Is that how that works?
Gun season starts tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Well,
But a lot are
tomorrow
in
morning.
transit right
I
now.
believe
listening to us.
at
But
dawn
deer camp starts tonight.
Deer camp starts tonight.
Right. Come on.
This is why the schedule of the Wisconsin State Football Championships is what it is.
Yeah.
So that after the game tonight, if you are victorious in the Division I game, hopefully, come on Arrowhead, Warhawks.
Good luck.
Sorry
today,
to all
Billy.
our friends in the Green Bay area, Bayport. But
I'm rooting for you. guys, too.
thank you,
Yeah,
Lucky.
they-
I appreciate
They
that.
beat my alma mater, Bayport, that is. So
And so after you celebrate that, you drive yourself up to the land, get ready for base camp. Then I believe it starts in the morning. And in the morning, we're going to start tagging some deer.
Yeah, that's it.
We
right
start
there.
filling tags. That's when it starts becoming real.
But tonight
And
we
that's
start
when
hanging
meat
out.
starts hitting the freezer.
Oh, yeah.
And that's when we really start becoming super successful in dragging them sons of guns through the woods after tracking, I don't know, quarter mile, half mile, maybe mile and a half, all the way through the leaves to be able to go and just make sure you keep a little eye on that blood. I'm pulling for all. I'm very, very excited and very jealous. Not because I want to be in the stand. Because again, I made it pretty clear. I don't know that anything's holding my fat ass up.
That's a lot of time for me just to sit there, guys.
That's the number one deal is I don't trust myself in a tree stand. One, to stay in tree stand. Two, like you just mentioned, to be quiet enough that it actually helps. But I want everybody to be fantastic this season. You know why? Because I'll tell you, venison meat is damn good.
Yeah.
And there's nothing better than somebody as a Traeger man myself saying, you know what I got? You got to taste my venison.
You got to taste my meat, man.
You got to taste this.
Venison meat. Come on.
Yeah, when all of a sudden you walk in with that big old beef stick.
With that sausages. Yeah, with those sausages.
We're going to be excited. We're all pulling for you.
Right.
You got venison steaks? We're pulling for you.
That's why Eric Tasker is my favorite guy this time of year.
Ground venison, we're pulling for you.
Yeah,
Come on.
let's go.
We're excited. We're pulling for you. Good luck. Be safe. Don't drink too much. Or drink more.
Come on. I mean, you can't tell them that on deer camp. Now, listen, it starts right. Deer camp starting, so the fun starts.
Deer camp potentially started for some probably yesterday.
Top games to play at deer camp. Top card games. This is Wisconsin, so you got to play cribbage, right? I would say euchre, and then of course sheep's head. I think those are the top 3 card games going on at deer camp. Now, poker's poker. Some people play poker, but we're a sheep's head state. Don't forget about that. So I would say those are the top games being played at deer camp. I don't know. If I'm wrong, let me know. You can text in. You can message in. The text line's always open. But that's what I would say would be the top games being played. 877-794-1973, Billy. And, of course, we're live on Facebook, YouTube, and X. Wayne in Nash Vegas to all the hunters. If it's brown, it's going down. I don't know what that means.
If it's brown, it's probably a deer. Because if it's a human, it's in orange.
That's what they're talking
it's
about.
going down.
That's what we're
taking
about.
it out.
Yeah.
Eddie, that was a bar that you just walked all over.
I did. Eddie and Stalis, how's the mouse hunting? Well, Billy got the mouse.
That mouse is dead. DEAD. Dead.
And Billy sent a message to that mouse too.
And potentially all the other ones. Yeah. And potentially all the other ones.
With his family.
Right. Yeah. And sadly enough, I did have some people ask if I was going to allow it to leave humanely. Wasn't able to. I apologize.
You would have if you could have.
I would have.
You're a softie at heart.
I would have if I could have. Armin, before we get some more Packers conversation and Jeff Hafley around the corner as well in about 15 minutes, Wayne Larrabee is going to be here in a half hour.
Let's go.
We were somewhat right. Yesterday after practice for the Dallas Cowboys, CeeDee Lamb confirmed the speculation that many people did, while also quelling some of the internet rumors around his name. Dallas Cowboys receiver CeeDee Lamb said him and George Pickens missed curfew Sunday night, which resulted in both players missing the first series of Monday night's game against the Las Vegas Raiders. Lamb told reporters that he and Pickens were at Red Rock Casino having dinner, maybe 1 or 2 drinks. Maybe a few drinks. Drinks. He also, though, denied the internet rumors of him throwing up outside of the casino. Should have been mentioned on social media. Lamb said the curfew for Sunday night was 10 p.m. He may have missed it by a tick. I'm not going to go in depth on
Which is amazing because he was at the team hotel.
Honestly, I'm not. I'm sorry. I'm not.
I mean, he's no Lombardi time.
How do you miss the team curfew when you're at the hotel? You know what's funny about that is you ever hear the term Streisand effect when you talk about something that nobody was talking about, but you bring attention. Yeah, like bring attention to it. It's like, no. By the way, I want everyone to know I wasn't throwing up outside last night. Okay, because nobody really was at. I know there was internet rumors about it, guys. I know there were social media rumors, but it's kind of like it's just a random thing you're telling on yourself basically by like bringing it up. Well, like what? Maybe no one heard of it, so maybe you shouldn't bring it up. We had dinner and some drinks. This was nothing crazy, and I wasn't puking outside the casino.
More though, CeeDee Lamb was a little frustrated, according to Calvin Watkins, who covers the Dallas Cowboys for DMN Cowboys, Dallas Morning News. If you were wondering what that stood for,
thank you.
The quote was: CeeDee Lamb said, "I know how to hold my liquor." So. We might have the nomination for the next Dallas Cowboy to be traded to the Green Bay Packers, and his name might be CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad about having CeeDee Lamb in my uniform. I do
that kind of tolerance. It's like, built for the Packers.
I know how to hold it. Don't talk. I love that real tough punishment they gave him. You guys were sitting out that first drive. Then get back in there. I need you. I need you to go win. I need you to go play. Like, come on, let's go.
I still think one of my favorites was this doesn't necessarily top CJ Abrams for the Washington Nationals playing roulette at like 7 a.m. at the casino that's like somewhat attached to Wrigley Field when they're playing the Cubs the next morning. Maybe not as good as that, but pretty dang close.
Everyone assumed he was up all night.
We had a steak. Maybe 1 or 2 drinks after.
Maybe 1 or 2. Everyone assumes he was up all night.
1 or 2 rolls. It's fine. It's okay.
He's at the team hotel. Is it technically breaking curfew?
Rolls. I said sushi rolls. Nothing crazy.
There you go, Billy.
Yeah, that's breaking.
Rolling
roulette.
Some guys get up that early and they want to play after breakfast before they have a little downtime.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I appreciate the confirming of what everybody anticipated and the fact that in this day and age, now this is more Drew and KB conversation in the afternoon. Where
Sure.
Say like, are you even able to go out and have fun anymore? CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens said, yeah, we did. And guess what? For the one guy that said that I looked like the dude that was throwing up outside, you shut off.
You're wrong.
You're wrong. Because I can hold my liquor.
And the funny thing is, like, can you do it anyway? Like, that's part of the problem, though. It's like these guys don't want to do anything. They don't want to go out and show their face because everyone's got a camera on them. You totally live in a fishbowl when you're that, well known, to always be having to look around your corner and someone can say something about you and someone can do it. So it's like, well, if I don't ever go out, I have plausible deniability. If I just stay at home and sit on my phone, I have plausible deniability. By the way, he had a pretty good game anyway.
He did score
5
the first
catches,
touchdown still.
66 yards and a tutty, yeah.
George Pickens, 9 catches for like $140 and a tug.
Well,
so I think they were okay.
He learned his lesson.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think they were okay.
Or
Brian
maybe they didn't do
Schottenheimer
this
came over,
more.
gave him a big old hug after they went and scored that touchdown. Yeah, and I think their second or third series.
We're good. Thanks,
laughing,
man.
joking.
Yeah.
I think everybody was okay.
Maybe they need to do that more.
You imagine Shotty sitting there like, fellas,
hey
you
guys,
guys really gonna make me do this?
Really gonna make me do this?
You're really gonna make me sit you guys down for a series and a half. CD, you knew you're getting 2 of the first 4 throws. So now we got to change the whole script because you guys wanted to go out and get a steak. Come on, fellas.
Yeah.
But was it good? At least there's probably a conversation to make sure, hey, let's make sure that this is worth it.
And let's make sure this conversation is somewhat congenial. So my best players don't end up hating me as like a coach that needs to win and keep his job. Like, let's be honest, that's part of it too. He's like, I'm
That's
gonna make
very
this.
fair. Yeah, my
I'm
job
not
is
gonna come down
not
real
going
hard.
to be safe as long as you guys.
I'm not gonna come down real hard. I gotta make it look like I'm punishing you guys. It's probably what they were laughing about. It's like, all right, I'm just gonna sit you out of the first series. All right, come on, I can't let this happen. Come on, the boss is watching.
Come on, guys, you can't make me do this. Was this a situation like you would get into as the RA if you're on rounds and one of your guys walks out of the bathroom with a
Yeah, I mean, you know me. I'm not
latte.
I'm not the type of guy that really wants to be a stickler here. I'm not looking for confrontation.
Come on, Andy.
You guys, why'd you put me in this position?
Why'd you make me do this?
You know how I am. You know I don't put me in this position. I mean, you know me. I'm cool with you guys. You guys don't do that to me.
You know Sarah's gonna make me write you guys up.
Yeah, exactly. So
Sarah, that bitch.
7794197. Jeez. 80-71, Purdue beats Memphis last night after trailing into the second half. Braden Smith fired up after his assist set up a dagger 3 for top-ranked Purdue. Marquette will take them on in a couple of weeks.
That was win 501 for Matt Painter. He was nervous about Memphis.
I would be too. Are you nervous about the Cougs today for the Badgers?
Yeah, I think this is the biggest and first real test for the Badgers this year. I think the Badgers are if they're the team I think they can be, I'd like to see them go play well. But you're on the road in Utah. It's never going to be easy. And this is a good BYU team. However, I've been saying it. I'm going to keep saying it. I think the Badgers are putting something interesting together this year, and they could be a really good team.
This is a neutral site game, correct?
Semi-home.
Okay.
Semi-home. Yeah, this would be like them playing a
11 and a half minutes from campus. Okay.
Yeah,
Sounds good.
it's a semi-home.
Yep.
It's a home.
It's like the Badgers playing at Pfizer.
It's exactly what it is.
This is even closer, though. It's
I mean, it is. It is by mileage and stuff.
Right, yeah.
And we'll see how that goes,
Although the only difference is University of Utah is in Salt Lake City where this game is. And if you think Marquette and Wisconsin hate each other.
Oh, yeah, you ain't wrong.
I know.
The Holy War hate's a little bit different.
Mm-hmm. Those Mormons get after it.
Even the hate in the heart for the Mormons. They're going to be upset.
I get it. But they will be all BYU fans.
I would assume. Outside of the ruckus traveling party that the Badgers are bringing, a good group of alumni, some boosters on this trip. Brian Butch on this trip.
Oh, I can't wait for this.
Very
call.
excited to hear the call coming up at 3:00. And I will not be.
You know where I'm at. I'm good. It's all good, brother.
Listening to that.
Oh, yeah.
Far before I'm going to be listening to the coverage on Peacock The Bad Boy Mowers Series hits Salt Lake City. Number 23 ranked Wisconsin takes on the 9th ranked BYU Cougars. As much as I think fans will want to make it a little bit of a revenge game, both teams are so different that I don't necessarily know that it is. However, it'd be good to be able to beat the Cougs because that's a team that's definitely going to be in it. They are much better than I anticipated going into last year. Learned that lesson. Watched 2 of their games already, Armen. This Cougars team's legit. That BYU team is legit. So I'm very, very excited to watch Nick Boyd and the Badgers, John Blackwell and company go and take them on coming up later on this afternoon. Start up a beautiful weekend in the state championships all day. Those will start up with the Division III game coming up at 10 o'clock. We'll talk to Wayne Larrabee coming up at 8. You're going to hear from Jeff Halfley as well. A lot more to get to. We'll go around the NFL with our picks. A little version as we step into the Potawatomi Sportsbook of the old school looking live as we try to figure out exactly who you might want to be investing on this weekend. Good slate, especially into the pro game. We'll hit them all as we continue on. It's no BS on the game.
The Game. This is what's trending in Milwaukee now.
In Green Bay, Josh Jacobs returned to Packers practice as a limited participant. He said after the workout he'll try to play Sunday, but has to see how the next couple of days go. One player that's been nicked up but got back in the lineup last week is rookie wide receiver Matthew Golden, whose touches have been limited. Still, Coach Matt LaFleur isn't concerned.
I think he's done a great job. I think it's important to him. It's not like when he goes out there, he's doing a great job of executing and owning his responsibilities. So I haven't foreseen it being a problem.
The Packers play the Vikings on Sunday. Kickoff is at noon. One other Packers note, the NFL has shifted their Week 14 game against the Bears to 3:25. It had been a noon kickoff. The Bucs lose last night without Giannis, 123-114 in overtime to the 76ers. They'll host the Pistons tomorrow. I'm Doug Russell on the Game Radio Network.
Miss an hour of No BS?
Honestly, Billy, I don't think you'd miss it.
You can find all of the shows in podcast form. Just search No BS on the iHeartRadio app. We call it Wagertainment.
All right, place your bets, place your bets.
VSiN, every night at 6. Presented by Potawatomi Sportsbook. Bet above the rest on Fox Sports 920.
iHeartRadio. Soundtrack. Flashback.
Idolized as Earth's greatest hero in Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, Kevin Bacon danced his way into our movie screens in 1984's Footloose. The soundtrack gave us plenty to dance to, including the title track by Kenny Loggins.
Now I gotta cut loose, footloose. Kick off the Sunday shoes. These Louis.
For more great movie soundtrack hits, check out Popcorn Radio on the iHeartRadio app.
Looking back at the world of sports, it's the iHeartRadio Weekend Sports Time Capsule.
What's happening, fellow sports fans? It's Andy West, and I'm here to take you on a journey back to this week in sports history. We'll start off in 1945. Jim Benton of the Cleveland Rams is the first NFL player to have more than 300 receiving yards in a game. Benton has 10 receptions for 303 yards and a touchdown in a 28-21 victory over the Lions. This week in 1965, Muhammad Ali knocks out Floyd Patterson in the 12th round to retain the world heavyweight title in Las Vegas.
Play ball!
This week in 1979, the Astros signed Nolan Ryan to a record 4-year, $4.5 million contract. The deal made Ryan the highest paid player in baseball and the game's first $1 million a year man. This week in 1982, the University of California executes the play in a college football game against Stanford, completing a wacky 57-yard kickoff return that included 5 laterals. Kevin Mullen runs through Stanford band members who had prematurely come onto the field. His touchdown stands and California wins 25-20. This week in 1999, Wayne Gretzky is inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame. His number 99 permanently retired by the National Hockey League. And this week in 2016, Jimmy Johnson ties Richard Petty and Dale Earnhardt with a record 7 NASCAR championships when he defeats Carl Edwards, Joey Logano, and defending champ Kyle Busch at Homestead Miami Speedway.
And that's just some of what happened this week in sports history. The Weekend Sports Time Capsule on iHeartRadio.
And now a look back at This Week in History on iHeartRadio.
This week in 1936, the first issue of the magazine Life is published, featuring a cover photo of the Fort Peck Dam spillway by Margaret Bork White. Life actually had its start earlier in the 20th century as a different kind of magazine, a weekly humor publication, not unlike today's The New Yorker. When the original Life folded during the Great Depression, the influential American publisher Henry Luce bought the name and relaunched the magazine as a picture-based periodical. Jumping ahead, this week in 1976, Rocky, starring Sylvester Stallone as the underdog prize fighter Rocky Balboa, debuts in New York City. The movie was a huge box office hit and received 10 Academy Award nominations, including Best Actor and Best Original Screenplay for the then little-known Stallone. Rocky ultimately took home 3 Oscars, including one for Best Picture, and made Stallone one of the biggest stars in Hollywood. This week in 1985, for the first time in 8 years, the leaders of the Soviet Union and the United States hold a summit conference. Meeting in Geneva, Switzerland, President Ronald Reagan and Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev produced no earth-shattering agreements. However, the meeting boded well for the future as the two men engaged in long personal talks and seemed to develop a sincere and close relationship. And this week in 1990, Margaret Thatcher, the first female prime minister in British history, announces her resignation after 11 years in Britain's top office. Thatcher's 3 consecutive terms in office marked the longest continuous tenure of a British prime minister since 1827.
And that's what happened. Thanks for listening to This Week in History on iHeartRadio.
Oh, give me the beat, boys, and free my soul. I want to get lost in your rock and roll and drift away. Give me the beat, boys, and free my soul. I want to get lost in your rock and roll and drift away. Won't you take me away?
We'll take you into the weekend here. It's no BS on the game. Billy and Sarian with you. Packers and Vikings. It is a beautiful weekend to start up divisional play. Packers will take on 3 consecutive division opponents. It starts up with the Vikings sandwiched in there the Thanksgiving date with the Detroit Lions in the Motor City, and now a 325 tilt against the Chicago Bears at Lambeau Field. That one flexed back yesterday.
I saw that was flex, so there you go, Billy.
Fire up your mentions for Bears fans. Are they rather optimistic, the ones that are firing at you this week after your hot take that their winning is not sustainable atop the NFC
They've
North?
been coming hot at me because I've had a pretty good amount. I'm not trying to brag, but I've had a good amount of tweets go kind of semi-viral a little bit with this Bears-Packers stuff.
What's the number that categorizes it going semi-viral, viral, not viral?
I think you get to 1,000 likes.
Sucks.
You get to 1,000 likes.
Yeah, 100%.
One of mine's up to 3, and I'm not like trying to like toot my own horn, or I'm not really trying to be in the influencer type.
Look at you
in the engagement farming game. It just
late,
happens. Just sometimes it happens to go. Sometimes it really be like that, as the kids
Maybe
say.
you should just be in that space now.
Yeah, well, I don't know. If I'm getting close to my milestone of 10,000, like I said, I was preparing a big prize for my 10,000th follower.
We're still waiting for
Free
you to be able to
sports
give
take.
away that
free sports
take
Yeah,
to somebody who is the 10,000 subscriber.
No, but the Bears fans have been in my mentions a lot, which is, I've told you, I've been trying to focus my hatred to Vikings. And these Bears fans keep coming in my mentions.
Say, wait for 2 weeks. You guys will have your moment in the sun.
No, but they're very excited because they feel that this is their moment in the sun. A couple weeks where they're actually in first place, have a good record with a quarterback that, is showing them some excitement. Bears fans are latching onto this opportunity because it's so few and far between to actually try and celebrate and dunk on people. And I've had a lot of Bears 13-year-olds in my mentions. Let's put it that way the last week. And I got to say, I'm pretty proud of myself. I've only blocked one of them who took it too far. I'm not like a Blocktober or a.
I was going to say, you're not really a blocker.
No,
so that had to have been a bridge too far.
Listen, there's certain lines. If you're going to start crossing, I'm just not going to deal with you. All right. You're going to start, just things you shouldn't be doing.
I like that.
Let's put it that way.
Listen, we have standards. We have lines, and if you cross them, you're gonna be done, and then it's gonna be good. But you know what? I like the fact that you're not gonna start trudging up the mud or the different name or the account. That you know what, Armen? That's real maturity by you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. However,
true, sincere maturity. Even though, I say it, the Nicolay.com talking text line never closes. We always hear or read what comes in. Like you can fire something in at 10 o'clock. randomly out of the clear blue.
And we'll read it.
And we'll know. And then we'll be able to maturely decide whether or not we want to engage or not. So I really appreciate you showing some maturity and having a line. That's pretty impressive.
Generally, I like to spar with these guys. I mean, that's what Twitter is
all
about.
Fun. It's all fun interaction.
One guy's
part of the reason we do this.
Been doing the running joke with me all week about the prom king. Yes, I do have that in my bio. Yes, it's pretty much tongue in cheek.
Guess what? It ain't coming down. So quit asking.
I ain't coming down, and the crown's going to be there forever. And I ruled I didn't rule with an iron fist. I was a benevolent king. All right. I won hell of a reign, as they say, as under my kingdom. But
there's no chance us getting vacated like a Heisman, right?
I don't think so.
Okay,
that's an important question. I'm glad you asked that.
Yeah, or like wins for a certain high school I read about yesterday because they were apparently fudging different attendance reports and playing with some illegal players. That's not going to happen for Armen's reign. Not going to happen for Armen's reign. What potentially could rain on the parade coming up Sunday as the Packers re-enter the NFC North play, a purple rain, you could say, would be the fact that the Vikings, out of the games that they have played very, very poorly in, games that they have absolutely dominated, where they beat the brakes off of Jake Browning and the Cincinnati Bengals at home. I think they put up 45 on them one time, scored maybe 2 defensive touchdowns. Minnesota has played their best games against the division. Those Bears fans that are potentially in your mentions, they could be, and you would think they would be trying to tell you, hey, man, you might want to focus on what you got in front of you. Because even though this is the bottom barrel of the NFC North, where 3 of the 6 teams already have 6, or 3 of the 4 teams have 6 wins, the one with 6 losses has beaten the other 2 in the division. They haven't had their first crack at you. That's a fascinating part of this. I think one, it speaks to something we talk about a lot, our affinity and appreciation for what Kevin O'Connell does on the other side. They scheme up very, very well against the division. When they know what you want to run, they've seen your kind of the structure of what you're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin O'Connell's going to find a way to attack you. They've had good teams. This one right now is a different, evolving one, albeit a veteran, really good roster. And if they get adequate quarterback play, I think they can beat just about anybody. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Like you saw it late into the fourth quarter against Chicago in week 1.
Absolutely.
Same thing last week. And for the majority of the game against Detroit, when they get adequate quarterback play, they can beat anybody in this conference. So it's going to be a legit 4-quarter game for a 6.5-point favorite at home in the Green Bay Packers.
They're like a lot of teams in this league, Billy. They have the ability any week to put things together and beat almost any team. A lot of reasons, especially if you're a flawed team, and the Packers are right now. They're a flawed team. They don't play perfectly. Obviously, they do some things that they shouldn't be doing if you want to win games. And if you give them, if you're complicit, as our friend Mike used to say, if you're complicit, you give them chances, and they can put things together to play well. They can definitely win those games. And you brought up a great point. If they get competent quarterback play, and you don't know what day that'll show up with JJ McCarthy, and that's a good point. But O'Connell will have a game plan, have them prepared. They have talent all around him. We know that Aaron Jones obviously is a factor if he comes back. So there's absolutely no question about it. They are good enough to win, and they're good enough to win this game. The Packers are a favorite for a reason. They're at home. They're a 6-point favorite, I believe, or 6.5. But you got to play really good ball to win a game. This is the National Football League, and that's the type of battle it is every week.
General Bo in Cottage Grove said, wait, so you're reading this right now and not saying anything about it? General Bo, we're reading it. We're waiting. We're seeing you on the NicolaLaw.com talking text line.
Yeah.
Hit us up right there at 877-794-1973. That's where we see our friend Hayden. He said, we are so back, boys. Tuned in on the iHeart app.
Let's go.
Packers are winning by 13 on Sunday. All Hunters have a safe opening week.
I love that. I love all those things. I love Hayden being back. I love him predicting the Packers win. And a safe opening weekend for the Hunters.
And also love you being able to find us on the iHeartRadio app. You can find us on the iHeartRadio app, looking up 1070 The Game. Hit it to your preset right there. You can also go 97.3 The Game. It is still up there, and certain times it will not be Christmas music. Most times it will be us talking sports and being on the Game Sports Network. You can find us right there as well. Buddy on Facebook said the Bears still suck, and Nagler is always right.
All right.
Well, the actual tagline is Nagler is never right. The problem is Nags has been becoming more correct than not. And as I've told him, you might want to course correct, because the last thing you want to do is for people to be getting not what they expect from you. What they're expecting is Aaron Nagler to never be right. They want to be able to drop that tag on them.
Yeah.
When you start being right, people will be disappointed that you're not giving them what they are asking for and what they are expecting of you.
Sure.
So I told Nags, throw in a couple of absolute trash takes that are clearly wrong, and then you can still be in the middle of it.
Yeah, throw them off the scent a little bit.
Yeah,
right?
100%.
Do that. I like that.
Be a little hunting reference by you right there. I like that.
Yeah,
That's a good club in your bag right there.
Well, you know what? I like to pretend I know what I'm talking about with this, even though I've never been hunting, deer hunting. Billy, one thing that Micah Parsons brought up the run defense a little bit. And he said, look, I thought we did pretty well. They're going to have their runs where they go off and things like that. But we, only gave up this many numbers. I would say that you can't always tell the story of a run defense just on numbers. Yes, you can tell a lot of it. What's the average? How are you stopping teams? But the Giants' run defense was having too much success controlling the ball and controlling possessions against the Packers. And I would say that that's maybe one thing that is a feel thing more, but it didn't feel like the Packers were successful enough against the run, against the Giants, to put them in precarious positions and then to therefore get off the field, because they're going for a lot of fourth downs, obviously a lot of third and shorts. Can't have that. The Packers' run defense, I think, wasn't good enough last week, Billy. I think it's got to get better this week to beat the Vikings. They're going to try and run the ball, I believe.
Oh, absolutely. It's definitely going to be the focal point for the Vikings to try and stay ahead of the chains. I don't know that it was a porous day for the Packers' run defense. I think it's one of the more stout units in the game. What you're describing, though, Armen, and I think is something that is either very, very frustrating or exactly what you plan to do, which is the Packers have become very clear and obvious that they're going to let you have fun until we get to about the 25-yard line. You can gain your yards. You move the chains. We're going to keep everything in front of us. We're not going to allow any big plays. We're going to let you, if you want to go 4 yards a tote, we'll let you do that. And then we're going to stiffen up once the red zone comes. And I think that's what you ended up seeing, right? The fourth down that they end up getting off the field is a 4th and 3 that they force inside the red zone. That's where the one turnover comes. And even though it can be very frustrating because it's not the dominating, just issuing 3 and outs left and right.
Sure, it feels bad. It feels terrible. It feels like you can't get off the field. Feels frustrating. Feels like you want this ball to be back to the offense.
It's kind of play. I think some of it is playing into how they want to play. So it is like, to what you're saying, I don't fully disagree. I think it's how it's the strategy employed is you can wear yourself out. We'll plan on you being able to make some mistake at some point. A lot of what teams are doing to the Packers as well. Force you to execute for 10, 11, 12 plays. And if you do, congratulations. We don't believe you're going to do it again. I think you're going to see more of that. The biggest one is you can't have the 17-yard explosive plays.
Well, yeah.
And that, I mean, because, what you more explained was the 3 and 4 yards and not being able to stay there. Like that, I think is what they're going to allow you to do. Some of their biggest plays ended up coming off of a broken tackle where there was an opportunity for a tackle for loss. I'm thinking of even the screen pass. Where Edrin Cooper has Tracy dead to rights in the backfield
and missed him. I think it's more a concern for me for the effect it has on the offense and the flow of the game, because you want your offense to get in the rhythm and have the ball back and not have to be off the field so much. The takeaway at the end of the game was huge, but what if that never comes? I never liked living in a world where teams were just getting into the red zone that easy, Billy. I understand bend but don't break, but I guess part of me hopes in the back of my mind that maybe we have enough dominant D to not have to be put in that position sometimes. And the first 2 games, it seemed like that. That's kind of where I'm at with that. So that's just my position on that.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have you go back and watch that Detroit game and see how much Detroit actually drove the football. They moved the ball quite a bit.
That's a good point.
And even that was where the turnovers came a little earlier. And again, you played from ahead, so it felt a little different. You play from ahead, teams will inherently not feel like they can run the ball as much. Another portion where the thing I think that's going to help this defense go to the next level is a little bit more consistency on offense. Sometimes your best offense is a great defense. Sometimes your best defense is a great offense that can at least hold the football a little bit and cash in when they have a 6.5-minute drive. That has been one of the biggest problems for the Packers offense as of late.
Want to watch No BS?
We'll do anything it takes.
They're live on YouTube, Facebook, and X right now.
We have a place for it.
Just search 97.3 The Game. The Packers are preparing all week for their first of 3 straight games against NFC North opponents.
Obviously, the divisional games are absolutely critical, and you talk about this 3-game stretch, but really all that matters is this one game. I mean, we just got to focus on what's right in front of us, and that's to try to put together the best plan to go out and play a team that I think is an extremely tough football team. I mean, shoot, they put it on us twice last year. So our guys will be motivated. They'll be ready to roll, but we got to put in the work.
As the Vikings come to Lambeau Field on Sunday, keep it locked here on The Game for the latest on the green and gold. Coming up next, Wayne Larrabee, the voice of the Packers, will join the guys.
There is your dagger.
Stay tuned.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Carlos Santana to discuss the value of giving it your all every time.
You know, when you stay with a certain frequency of concentration, laser-like concentration, I learned this from doing a concert with and for the Black Panthers. You know, somebody came in and said they wanted to join in with the Black Panthers, and they looked at him with this look and they said, "Are you ready to die right here, right now for it?" You know, so when you do your comedy and your humor and your imagination, or you play music like that, you get a different sound. You don't get a sound like we have and who we are unless you're committed to it like that, like Buddy Rich or Tony Williams or Elvin Jones. Those people always said, play like it's your first and last time that you're going to play.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Carlos Santana and all your favorite artists.
You may not play for your favorite team, but you act like it. Whether you're at work or outside on the grill, you carry them with you. No, not with a jersey, but a mindset as you crack open that ice-cold beer. Cheesehead TV and Gathering Place Brewing bring you Carry the G, a delicious and easy drinking cream ale. But it's not just for tailgating, it's for everyday life.
Well, we carry the G wherever we may be, so bring me a cold from the land of the green and gold.
Available throughout Wisconsin, 21 plus, drink responsibly.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Elton John to talk about the power of a song.
Take someone somewhere else. God knows I've been taken so many places by other writers, other performers. That is the power of the song and the power of the performer. Without music, my life would have been, it's been a constant, from 3 years old when I started to play, it's been a constant, whether I've been happy, sad, breaking records, being at my lowest ebb ever, I've always had music with me. And it's always got me through the good and the bad.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Elton John and all your favorite artists.
This is The Game, home of No BS, DND, and Drew and KB every weekday, live on the iHeartRadio app and YouTube, Facebook, and X. Just search 97.3 The Game.
Let's go.
It's the greatest story in sports.
Star dropping straight back, hit as he throws, has the ball, it is McGee, touchdown.
I'm Doug Russell, and this is Tales from 1265, an insider's look at football's most storied franchise. A franchise that has had its dynasties.
This is the first Super Bowl trophy, and it's something Green Bay can keep. We're going to have a new trophy each year.
And its rebirths.
Every major football decision will be made by Ron Wolf.
I realize I'm a Green Bay Packer now, and maybe I can prove that I am worth the first-round pick next year, but just got to be patient.
But I was really impressed with the coaching staff, with the whole organization, and with the direction the team is going. I think they have a total commitment to winning.
Tales from 1265 is presented by Nicolay Law, your local award-winning injury lawyers. If you've been injured, get Nicolay, Wisconsin's winning team of lawyers that will get you back in the game. Tales from 1265 is a production of iHeartRadio Podcasts and is available on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Music, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Did you know your home can cause twice the greenhouse gases of your car? It's true. The good news is you can help with Energy Star. The EPA urges you to take steps to reduce your home energy bills and make a big difference in the fight against air pollution. Visit EnergyStar.gov.
You are listening to The Game.
Did you know that every 65 seconds, someone in the U.S. is developing Alzheimer's disease and 1 in 3 seniors are dying of it or another dementia? University of Wisconsin-Madison researchers are trying to improve the lives of people affected with innovative treatments, early diagnosis, and comprehensive support for families and caregivers. Together, we can improve lives and build a future with Alzheimer's disease in Wisconsin and beyond. Visit goalsforacure.org.
Message marked urgent.
We're here for you now on the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line.
Hey, I'm just trying to find some answers here.
At 1-877-794-1973.
Shotgun snap to Lovey, bobbles for a moment, now lost it. Right side of the end zone. Watson leaping grab. Oh, sensational touchdown catch. Christian Watson. My, oh, my, oh, my.
Hopefully some more of that this weekend, and the Green Bay Packers can be capitalizing against the Minnesota Vikings, whose secondary might be gettable. Talk about that and more with our friend Wayne Larrivee of the Packers Radio Network, voice of the Green Bay Packers. Our conversations with Wayne on Mondays and Fridays brought to you by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, bet above the rest, discount liquor, family owned and operated in Milwaukee and downtown Waukesha since 1960, and Wisconsin concrete coatings, built in Wisconsin, built to last. Wayne, always appreciate it, my brother, as you get ready to call another border battle, number 200 for the Packers and Vikings. How special is this one? Obviously, your history but in the Packers-Bears rivalry is spoken for, and we don't need to talk about how impressive that is. But this one in particular has been different because it's been probably more contentious and definitely competitive, with the only two teams in the NFC North both having an MVP over the last 2 decades. This rivalry over the last 20 years has been really, really hot.
Yeah, really. And the players feel it. Certainly the fans feel it. Everybody has over the years. And Bears Packers is tradition. There's no doubt about that. But Minnesota and Green Bay, there is a real dislike there between the fan bases and also between the teams.
I think Minnesota's a really interesting kind of case study this year in this era right now, because they seem to be so talented at so many important positions. They seem to be, a team that's sort of prepared in so many ways to make the playoff runs. However, they're the most important position, the quarterback position, is their deepest unknown, which makes them, will take them some days from being a contender or looking like a contender, Wayne, and some days looking like an also-ran.
Well, Armen, here's the interesting thing, because you're exactly right. The one difference between Minnesota this year to last year, Minnesota last year, went 14-3 in the regular season. And the biggest difference between them this year and last year is at that quarterback position. Last year, they had a veteran having an MVP-like season in Sam Darnold. This year, they have a rookie. I understand he was drafted 2 years ago. Didn't play a lick in the regular season last year. He's a rookie, missed the whole season. And they're going through the rookie quarterback growing pains with a player who they would probably rather have on the sidelines to continue to groom and sprinkle in rather than carry the full load. Now, as you look at this team, offensive skill position players, there's nobody better in the division. When I look at that defense, they've got great skill in that front seven, and they've got veteran leadership in the backfield. So this is a team that is ready to win, but not having that quarterback does a couple of things to you. Number one, what Minnesota did really well last year, especially against the Packers, was get on the lead, play on a double-digit lead. That allows Brian Flores to really unload his defensive playbook. That allows him to do the exotic blitzes, et cetera, et cetera. Today, the Vikings are struggling to stop the ball, number one, on the ground, because teams are running more against them because they're either in the lead or the game is close or tied. And the other factor that comes into play this thing is turnovers, takeaways. The Vikings offense have been guilty of a lot of them. They were plus 12 last year, and this year they're -9 or somewhere around there. So there's a big difference in some of those areas. But the team itself, the personnel on this team, is set for a playoff run.
Yeah, they're bottom third in football in most penalties against as a total team, and their offense is very, very up there, Wayne. And you look at what they do defensively really well, something that the Packers have struggled with, which is holding up in pass pro. And what you mentioned is when they can pin their ears back and go and fire a bunch of different exotic blitzes at you, their front seven is as dangerous as any in football. However, their interior tackles, you mentioned teams have run on them. One, because I think you have to run at those guys to be able to establish something. But Hargrave and Allen both coming over in free agency. I was like, whoa, those are two primetime names. Those are two primetime players. That's going to be a different beast. Neither have necessarily, as I've watched, kind of jumped off the film as much as I expected they would.
It's interesting because they spent over $300 million to build up the offensive and defensive lines. Okay. Those two players you mentioned are the part of the defensive upsurge. Brian Kelly at center. They also brought on Will Fries at guard to solidify the interior of the offensive line. Now, Kelly's been injured. He's practiced this week. We're not sure if he's getting off the injured list or not, but we'll see. He's the starting center. But you're right about the defense. And, whereas last week people were running right at the Giants, I think people are getting ball to the outside and bouncing plays on this Vikings defense. And I wonder if, certainly Jonathan Grenard, Andrew Van Ginkel are outstanding pass rushers, but I wonder how good they are against the run. I know that Blake Cashman in the middle of that defense is real good against the run, but teams seem to be making yards on Minnesota. They're giving up 127 rushing yards a game, Billy. You're exactly right. I expected much more out of the Vikings ground attack defensively this year, and I think most people did.
Is personnel just getting older for that defense, or are they kind of the other thing I'm wondering is the rest of the league seems to be really comfortable playing the too high shell, umbrella, stuff like that. But it seems like Flores has always been a guy that wants to be more aggressive. But maybe that would, fall, contrary to what the Packers want to do, which is to draw you in and try and beat you over the top and do things like that in the vertical game and try and get explosives. Is there a combination of those factors, Wayne, this weekend?
Well, I think you're right about the interior tackles. I mean, both those guys that came over, Javon Hargrave from the Steelers, and actually he came in from San Francisco, but most of his career was with Pittsburgh, and Jonathan Allen, the former first-round draft choice at Washington, they've got mileage on them. There's no doubt about that. So that's a factor. Armen, you're right about this defense. I spent the week, and I'm sure the Packers did, you see 7, 8 guys up on the line of scrimmage. They're not all coming, but who's coming and who isn't. And they always have somebody, it seems like, we used to call it, Dennis Krause and I used to use the old Zimmer term, they're sugaring the A gaps. So there's a guy in the A gap. He may not be coming, though. And that's the thing he may not be coming on the pass rush, and that's the thing you have to discern. But yeah, I think some explosives against this defense on the ground a little bit. Obviously, teams have had that happen, but it's perplexing to me with the personnel they have that they're in the position they're in, with the caveat being it's the quarterback, and it really is.
Yeah, and 9 is what he potentially calls himself, and what the alter ego is for JJ McCarthy. It's a unique situation, Wayne, because everybody that's around him just loves the young man. And at some point that can take you so far, but then you have to be able to put everything else together. You mentioned the fact that he didn't play it all last year in the regular season, also wasn't able to practice. And I imagine that's been a large amount of, like, they're talking about all these mechanical issues now, and it's very, very public. And I don't know how great that is for anybody's development, but that would be the stuff that you'd be able to correct and work on, and that they probably identified at the University of Michigan that they weren't able to do any of last year with him being hurt. You really wonder if there's some seller's remorse almost on not either bringing back Darnold, as you mentioned. There were rumors about Aaron Rodgers going there in the offseason, and a guy that's 8-2 right now, Daniel Jones, was in that building at the back half of last year.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. And those quarterbacks that left, they all wanted to go to a place where they could be the guy for the present and future. Now, in Daniel Jones' case, he had to win the job this summer during training camp. But, boy, he's won the job and he's taken off. And nobody has heard of the first-round draft choice at quarterback at Indianapolis for a while now, even though he's one of the great athletes in the league. The thing that, Billy, that gets me about J.J. McCarthy, this is the interesting part. And I've watched 3 of their games, and I'll go back and watch the last one again. But he has moments of brilliance, moments of this is why he's here. This is why they made him the 10th overall pick in the draft. He has those moments, play to play, game to game, series to series. But the problem is he also has wild periods of inaccuracy where, for 3 quarters against the Bears last week, he couldn't hit a receiver from me to you. You know what I mean? He couldn't get it anywhere close. And then in the fourth quarter, he hits a rhythm and boom, boom, boom. They get downfield. They take the lead. And then the special teams issue happens. They give up a 56-yard kick return to Devin Duvernay and set up Cairo Santos for the game-winning point. So, the fact is, it's there. It's in that kid, and they're going to get it out of him because Kevin O'Connell is, in my opinion, one of the best quarterback coaches I've ever seen. So that's going to happen. And matter of fact, this Minnesota team is so well coached on offense and defense. It's really hard to believe they are where they are right now in the standings, because I look at them personnel-wise like you guys just did, and I look at their coaching, and I'm saying, wow, this team, they can beat anybody. But they've proven they can get beat by anybody as well.
Yeah, it sure feels like that. And they seem to traffic in a lot of low or one-score games. They did that in the past, and they've won a lot of them. So it could go either way. The margins are small in this league, as you know. How much does their run game have to do with that as well, and McCarthy's development? Because if they get Aaron Jones back, that should be a big factor. And I think Billy and I were going back and forth a bit on the Packers' run defense. I thought it was a bit disappointing against the Giants, but the numbers overall weren't terrible. How important is that going to be for the Packers if Jones is back, and how much will they try and run the Packers this weekend?
Well, Armen, he's back. I mean, he's down at 3 or 4 games now, and he looks like himself. He looks great. I don't see any drop off in his game whatsoever. But what they did was, I believe, late in training camp, Billy, if I'm not mistaken, you got a better handle on this stuff than I do. They made a trade with San Francisco. They got Jordan Mason in at running back. And I'll tell you what, I know San Francisco let him out of the building because they have Christian McCaffrey, who then subsequently got injured. But Mason led that team in rushing in San Francisco a year ago. Tough, physical, downhill running back, exactly the kind of back that has given Green Bay all kinds of problems in the last 5 weeks defensively. So this is a guy to keep an eye on. I think he's a big key for the game coming up Sunday.
That and Justin Jefferson commands a lot of oxygen and a lot of brain power because he's just that good. He's always open, and even when he's not open, he's like 7-Eleven. Go in there, knock on the door, and it's open. But Jordan Addison has been one that has been a very difficult guy for the Packers to contain and solve in his career with the Vikings. Seems like he's kind of all the way back as well. I know he served a suspension early in the year. It was a little bit dinged early on, but you said it earlier in this, Wayne, when they are healthy and when they are rolling, I think their skill position guys are as good as anybody in the division.
No question about it. I think better than most. They have a little more depth at wide receiver than Detroit does. The other guy to watch is Jalen Naylor. Now, Naylor you can tell there's a bit of a chemistry between Jaden Naylor a little bit and the quarterback, and that's, again, the numbers aren't gaudy for Naylor, but he's made some big catches in the last month and a half or so, and he's a guy you've got to watch for. But the other two guys, they'd be number one receivers on most teams. Obviously, Jefferson on every team, but Addison on most other teams in the league, he'd be number one. So they're built. They're built for the run. Whether they do it or not, they're way behind the 8 ball. But this is a dangerous team in the final weeks of the season.
Yeah, Naylor 5 grabs for 81 yards and a tug last year when the Packers went up to Minnesota. And starting fast for the Packers in every game is going to be paramount. They haven't scored a touchdown in their first drive since Dallas.
You're exactly right. Yeah. I mean, and Billy, that's the thing that's kind of, that's the thing with this Minnesota team. Last year, hey, they were up on Green Bay in Lambeau, 28-0 at halftime.
Yeah.
And we all forgot about that.
Yep.
After that, Minnesota wasn't playing Green Bay. In the second half, they were playing the clock. Understand that. Now, a game ended up being a 3-point game. Well, it was a close game. No, not really. No. Minnesota's up double digits in Minneapolis going into the fourth quarter as well. So this is a team. I think it's critical getting on top, playing from the lead in NFL games anyway, but especially against this Minnesota team because of what they can do to you defensively when they have the lead.
1,000%. And again, like what you just mentioned, Wayne, I think in combined, they were 4 points between the two games. They were closer to 4 combined touchdown differences between the two games, between the two teams last year. Minnesota took your lunch for the majority of the two games, and being able to make a statement for the fan base around the NFC North, we've been talking about this week. People are still going to bring up 1-5 until you beat 1-5 in the division from a year ago. But these two games were maybe the most disappointing and not to be hyperbolic, disastrous of the divisional games last year, because you thought you were much closer to Minnesota, and they took your lunch and blew your doors off right away in both of those games early.
Yeah. Can't happen this year. Got to play on the lead. Hey, Billy, I'm watching tape. I think it's of the Minnesota, and they all run together at this stage of the week, the Minnesota-Baltimore game, and they're in Minneapolis. And I got to tell you, the one disappointing aspect for Minnesota fans will tell you this, but so will media members, but it's been the offensive line. You're an offensive lineman. They had 8 false starts, not all on offensive linemen, but they had 8 false starts at home in that game. The other thing about Minnesota, they're a pretty heavily penalized team this year, which is unusual for a Kevin O'Connell team.
Well, you're spot on too. They buy 2 guys from the Colts to come up here in the middle of their offensive line. I think Darrisaw's a phenomenal player, and he's been kind of in and out, and he's now fully back there on the left side. But with Fries and Kelly, the concussion issue is tough. That's a difficult thing to meander through. But they've kind of been underwhelming from when you grab 2 guys from you thought were going to be the best offensive line. And what do? They have a guy have 17 rushing touchdowns in Indianapolis. It almost feels like they got the secret to that Indianapolis offensive line, and they realized the guy behind actually was the secret there for the Colts.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll be interesting. It always is. But this is going to be quite a battle, I think, in Lambeau Field this weekend.
Indeed, Wayne. And I wonder also, are we getting closer finally to seeing the full complement of weapons at the wide receiver position, talking about all the depth there? I mean, if Jaden's getting close to coming back, if Golden can go, we have not been able to see all of our toys at once, and that's kind of one thing I think it'd be exciting to see.
Yeah, I hope Jaden Reed's getting close. He's a playmaker we've all forgotten about because he's been out so long. Right. But is a big key to that offense, I think. And now without Tucker Kraft, you're really going to have to rely on the guys on the outside. Yeah. There's no question about that. And, Josh Jacobs talked big in the locker room yesterday about trying to play this week, if not for sure on Thanksgiving. I don't put anything past Josh Jacobs. His character is phenomenal. His toughness, phenomenal. If he can play, I think if he can walk, he's going to want to play, and they're going to have to hold him back to keep him out of this game. But I hope they don't. I hope he's able to play, and I hope he's able to play well.
Yeah, we're going to hear from him coming up. Final thing for me, Wayne. You were there getting to watch it again. How impressed were you with how Jordan Love played, especially after the injury on Sunday in New York?
Billy, I mean, his numbers belie the contribution he made to winning that game. And Malik Willis was a big key as well, picking up the slack on that one touchdown drive when Jordan went out. But you got to understand how bad the wind was. And I think that led to drops for both teams. I think that was a factor. That ball was moving around as it got to the receivers. But he had 5 drops. And, when you factor that in to his statistics, he would have had a tremendous day. He had a great day in terms. I looked at it as this, Billy. It was a leadership kind of game. That's what impressed me, the leadership aspect of it. I know his passer rating was good. I know it was fine. He didn't turn the ball over via interception or anything like that. But his leadership, if you watch the game, on a difficult day against an opponent that was really fired up to play well, Jordan Love was calm among the storm. And I think that was really the most impressive aspect of his game last week.
I couldn't agree with you more. Going back and watching it, that final touchdown drive that they go to go and retake the lead, I think he checks twice at the line of scrimmage, both times for completions, one of which the touchdown on the slot fade, which is just a beautiful ball. It was the leadership. You're spot on. That was it. And that's the next step, right? Consistently putting together those kind of performances is one, but when you are the quarterback, even though it might be uncomfortable for your personality, you got to be the leader of the football team. And it does appear that he's taking over that kind of mantle. You see it a little bit more than we do.
And you mentioned the can plays. And by that means when he comes up to the line of scrimmage, if you hear a quarterback yell can, he's changing the play at the line of scrimmage to the other play they've called on this particular down. Okay, they usually come out of the huddle most of the time, a lot of the times, with 2 different plays. And the quarterback at the line of scrimmage can check from one play to the other. And so it may be just a change of direction for the running play. Maybe it's a change from run to pass, that kind of thing. But all of that happening at the line of scrimmage, that's something that was good to see him do last week, because it's something that maybe he hasn't done enough of this year, because, he's only in his 3rd year as a starting quarterback. He doesn't have MVP pelts behind him or a Super Bowl behind him. You know what I mean? Yes. So I think this is where it's taking a little longer, but he's starting to do that at the line of scrimmage. And, all great play callers, all of the great offensive play callers. Once in a while, they send in a play that's not going to work. And the quarterback, it's up to him to change the play to something that will work or won't result in disaster like the interception at Cleveland.
Hey, Wayne, did you catch the Texans uniforms last night? Would you have been a big fan of those as a broadcaster? That dark red on the dark black numbers,
man.
the dark blue and the dark red. That was nightmare fuel for you, wasn't it? I just thought
it would have been a veritable nightmare, especially with my eyes these days. I mean, not even field glasses would have helped there. They have some of Houston and their basketball team and all this thing, this Houston town, whatever the crazy thing they do. They have some God's honest awful throwback uniforms in Houston. It really is.
Some very strange ones. Also,
it's just like you take a piece of cloth or take a piece of garment and you just dump oil on it or something.
That's
you know
right.
what I mean?
What's the point?
They're going to find 15 other different ones in the NBA too. You talk about the time when you ended up getting out of the NBA at the right time, Wayne, with all the city editions and the different versions of uniforms right now. It's hellish to figure out who's playing. Who's
Exactly. All right, guys. Hey, listen, have a good week and we'll talk to you Monday.
We'll see you on Monday. Have a great call. We'll see you Sunday. There's Wayne Larrivee, the voice of the Green Bay Packers, hanging out with us here on No BS. Courtesy of the Potawatomi Sportsbook, bet above the rest, discount liquor, family owned and operated in Milwaukee and downtown Waukesha since 1960. And Wisconsin Concrete Coatings, built in Wisconsin, built to last. Can't thank Wayne enough. As our friend JR said, Wayne is the GOAT. We're blessed to have listened to him for 2+ decades, nearing 3. Nearing 3 decades with Wayne Larrivee as the voice of the Green Bay Packers.
With us. Now, if you do the math and you know Wayne's history, and when he started doing Chiefs radio, I think at 23.
23 years old.
So we're getting close to Wayne calling NFL games for half century.
I was still kind of finishing up college at 23.
Yeah, you were. Yeah. What did you do at 23?
Not that, nor did I do any. Yeah, no.
I took a shower and a quick trip. That's what Armen's going to try to do potentially here coming up later on this month. 877-794-1973. If you got one that Armen should go frequent, hit us up. Also, if you got a game that you really want our take on coming up this weekend, hit us up on the NicolaLaw.com talking text line as we spray it around the NFC and around the NFL, the games to watch, and maybe the storyline game of the year in the National Football League. Not one you would expect. We'll talk about them coming up. On the other side, it's No BS.
In the shotgun, Winston looks it over. Here's the snap. Winston sets, throws, left side of the end zone. Intercepted! Intercepted by the kid. Oh, Evan Williams delivers in the left corner of the end zone. And the Packers deliver the dagger.
Miss an hour of No BS?
Honestly, Billy, I don't think you'd miss it.
You can find all of the shows in podcast form. Just search No BS on the iHeartRadio app. It's Border Battle Week. Stay with the game as we get you ready for the Packers and Vikings.
27 yards left hash. Snap good. Spot down. Walsh's kick is up. And it is no good. He missed it. Are you kidding me? The season can't end like that. He missed it left. And the Seattle Seahawks are off to Charlotte. 10-9. Favre goes back to pass. He pumps. Now he fires over the middle. Intercepted. I can't believe what I'm seeing right now. It was intercepted by Tracy Porter near side to the 40, and John Sullivan runs him down at the 47-yard line. You've got to be kidding me. I can't believe what I just saw. Looking at that play, he should have just held on to it, Paul. He should have. He could have easily got 5 or 6 yards if he would have just pulled that thing down and dove forward. But why do you even ponder passing? I mean, you can take a knee and try a 56-yard field goal. This is not Detroit, man. This is the Super Bowl.
Welcome to Rivalry Week. Welcome to the border battle. CJ in Columbus said, I think there's one in Arizona where he says the kick is good and the Vikings kicker ended up missing it. CJ, your memory is correct.
High snap, put down. Joseph, come on! It is good! No, he missed it. Good. Are you kidding me? He missed it right. He missed it right. Oh, my heavens. Oh, my. This, he missed it right. What a gut punch to a team. Paul, that play after play toward the end fought its way back.
missed it by like a foot.
Wayne also told us about that one because of where they were. He's like, you can't see the numbers, you can't see the kick, whatever it ends up being. But it is just a hilarious moment. But it's not even my favorite Paul Allen call that involves
Arizona.
The Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah. Run, PA. 17, 16, 15.
See, they have to go deep into the end zone.
We better put some people in the
don't
end
worry.
zone, right, Joe?
That's exactly right.
I mean, there's nobody inside the 10.
Get back there.
Here it is. The season's on the line.
back.
2 receivers left and right. McCown takes the snap. He steps up. He's all by himself. Fires into the end zone. Caught! Touchdown! No! No! The Cardinals have knocked the Vikings out of the playoffs. I believe it was caught by Nate Poole.
It was.
He's being mugged by his Cardinal teammates. They're Minnesota Vikings crying on the field.
Oh, and we love to see that part, Paul. Thank you for that last little drop. And thank you to our sister station, KFAN, for all of that illustrious audio.
Listen to No BS with Billy and Armen every weekday from 6 to 10 right here on The Game.
It's the greatest story in sports.
Star dropping straight back. Hit as he throws. Has the ball. It is touchdown.
I'm Doug Russell, and this is Tales from 1265, an insider's look at football's most storied franchise. A franchise that has had its dynasties.
This is the first Super Bowl trophy.
And its rebirths.
Every major football decision will be made by Ron Wolf.
Tales from 1265 is presented by Nicolay Law, your local award-winning injury lawyers, and can be heard on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1978.
In June of 78, Darkness on the Edge of Town is released, Bruce Springsteen's follow-up to his breakthrough album, Born to Run. The album charts at number 5.
In the darkness on the edge of town. In the darkness on the edge of town.
Boston-based band The Cars released their debut album. It goes to number 18. It features the singles Just What I Needed and My Best Friend's Girl.
She's my best friend's girl. But she used to be mine.
In July of 78, the Rolling Stones released Some Girls in the U.S. The album and the single Miss You both hit number 1. In August of 78, Boston released their sophomore album, Don't Look Back. The album goes to number 1 in the U.S., selling 4 million copies in its first month.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1978. Coming up.
Message marked urgent.
We're here for you now on the NicolayLaw.com talk and text line at 1-877-794-1973.
I woke up in Chris Brown's body. So how this shit turned into Freaky Friday? But we got no choice but to turn this sideways. I can't believe that it's Freaky Friday. It's Freaky Friday. I'm in Chris Brown's body.
What a great tune. Ring, ring. It's No BS on the phone with you at 877-794-1973 or on your phone on your iHeartRadio app. Maybe you're watching us via YouTube or X on your mobile device. Thanks for hanging out with us. Turn on that car and fire it into your Bluetooth speaker.
You can do that too.
Maybe grab one of those old school cassette adapters.
We had those, man.
Plenty of ways that you can adapt and find a way. Adapt and overcome. We appreciate everybody finding different ways to consume our product. We cannot thank you enough for keeping the lights on for us in here and being on Fox Sports or on 1070 The Game, on in La Crosse and Eau Claire in a matter of moments. Being able to chop it up with Wayne Larrivee going into a game week is something we never will get over, especially when we start to, Armen, we like to be right. Human beings like to be right. Packers fans like to be right. Bears fans like to be right. Vikings fans like to be right.
Everyone likes to be
Badgers
right.
fans like to be right. It does feel good when Wayne Larrivee is kind of watching the same thing that we're watching.
It does,
doesn't it?
Like
when we kind of confirm some of the things that we're thinking of, hey, even though running the football has not been the most effective thing for the Green Bay Packers as of late. Maybe that's the most effective way of being able to keep yourself in front of the chains and win this football game coming up on Sunday. Might be your best way of being able to get out in front of the Minnesota Vikings. And, oh, by the way, kind of our number one key here is how about we play from ahead for the first time in 2 months? That this weekend might be the most important part of Packers and Vikings on Sunday.
Yeah, it is. Playing from ahead, getting the ball, controlling the time of possession, getting early score. A lot of things the Packers haven't been able to do the last few weeks. That hasn't helped them necessarily. They've survived a little bit, but sorry, Billy.
No, you're good. And also being able to contain the ground game, which you talked about, and also Jeff Hafley talked about yesterday. Now, Jeff Hafley was asked, what did you ultimately make of your rushing numbers in your run defense? Was it good? Was it great? Was it not acceptable? What would you ultimately make? Because the numbers ultimately weren't that great, but it felt like they were running on you. What did you think of your ground game in New York?
It was a run defense. I think it was a missed opportunities to get off the field. We have to get off the field on third down. They started off the game and they went down the field and scored. They hit 2 explosive passes on that drive, which is kind of an uncharacteristic of us. We've been playing pretty good the first drives of the game. Then we held them 3 and out. Then we held them 3 and out. And then we were on the verge of holding them to 3 and out again for 3 straight drives. And we had a missed opportunity on third down. And we gave them more chances to run the ball. I think they almost ran the ball 40 times. To me, the run defense was fine. It was getting off the field when we had the opportunity to do so. I mean, we had a lot of opportunities to get off the field. It was more, those missed opportunities where we could have ended drives or changed the game, and we have to finish those. So I think it was a byproduct of keeping them on the field with some missed opportunities.
Jeff, why does Micah tend to make big plays late in games? Is that stamina? Is that something that he just sees as it goes on?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, he is the closer, and that's what we need him to do. And I jokingly called him that a few weeks ago. But if you think back to the Arizona game and you think back to this past game, that's what he's been able to do. He had the big sack on, I think they went for it a lot on fourth down. He had the big sack on like the 4th and 3 in the red zone. And then obviously at the end of the game, he had the sack fumble to end the game. And he had a bunch of other pressures in the game. The ball's getting out quick. And we're not seeing quite as many passes. And at the end of the game, he just stepped up. He knows what time it is, and he made the play. I think you kind of probably have to look game by game and see why. But he is affecting the game. And I mean that. If you just watch the pass attempts, watch how quickly the ball is coming out. And when they have to hold the ball longer at the end of the game, he closes it out. But he is a great player, and I think he would expect that out of himself. And in return, we expect it out of him. And I think he'll continue to do that.
Hey, Jeff, how do you get Cooper to affect the quarterback like he was, the second half of last season?
Well, I think he did in the beginning early this year too. If you think back to those games where we're up big and we're forcing teams to throw the ball the entire second half and people have to throw the ball on us. I mean, we're not getting a lot of pass attempts. We're not getting into a game where it's 4th and 3rd quarter pass after pass after pass. If you think back to the Washington game when we were and they had to throw the ball the whole second half, he was getting those pressures, right? If you look back to the Giants game, they threw a screen on 3rd and 5. They ran the ball on 3rd and 12. If you think back the week before against the Eagles, we got a run on 3rd and 13, a run on 3rd and 9. I just think there's less opportunity right now and how these close games are unfolding. Right. So hopefully we can get the ball back to the offense, play some good complementary football, get more opportunities. And I think you'll see him get those. I just think it's a byproduct of how these games have went. I do think Coop is playing better football this year than he did last year. I don't even think it's close. I think he understands the game more. I think he's making more plays. He's in the right place consistently. And I think he's gotten better each week. I think how he's practicing right now and how comfortable he is, I think he's ascending, and I'm excited to see where he goes the rest of the season.
So even without never mind the pass rushing part, I think he had 13 TFLs last year. I think he's 2 now.
Yeah.
Your team's taking him away, that explosive part away to some extent, or have you seen there?
No, I haven't seen that at all. We've got a lot of football left, and hopefully those numbers will go up. I think he's playing a lot better football this year than last year, and I mean that. I don't even think it's close.
Jeff, Matt was asked yesterday about why Rashawn played 39 out of 72 snaps or whatever, and part of his answer was that he's just not historically a high snap count guy. Why is a guy making, I know you don't care about the salary, but he's making $24 million a year. Why is a guy like that not a high snap count guy?
Well, I think if you've looked back through this year, he's played more than he did last week. And again, I don't want to continue to give the answer. You got to take this game by game, but in some of those long drives, we're rotating guys. Guys are coming in and out. There's limited possessions and less pass opportunities, and there's nothing really to look into there. I mean, I actually, at the end of the game, I talked to DeMarcus and didn't even realize that his snap counts were where they're at. When DeMarcus is rotating him in and out of the games, is it a long drive? Is he tired? Does he need a break? Is it short yardage? Where are they at on the field? Are we getting bigger people? Are we getting more tackles on the field? I don't look into it. It's one game. And if you look back on the other games, I just think we're making that a way bigger deal. Like, truthfully, I can look you in the eye and tell you that. I just don't think there's a story there with this one game. So I'd anticipate his snaps going up. And I mean, you could say JJ played one more snap than him in the game, but that's just kind of the way it worked out. That wasn't like the set plan of the game. It's just rotation guys, how the drives go and how it happened.
Yeah, I wasn't just saying this game specifically. I was saying more so over the long term is kind of what Matt said. But
yeah, the answer does stand.
So, Jeff, snap counts notwithstanding, he is an elite pass rusher, or at least that's the expectation, right? When you look at his pressure numbers, they're not as high as Micah's, obviously. You would like to think he's getting more one-on-ones because of Micah's presence. Do you need more from Rashawn, however many snaps he's playing, or do you feel okay with what you're getting from him?
Yeah, you want to continue to improve and get more pressure from all of your players across the board. I think if we go back and look at the last 3 weeks, I mean, I don't know if a quarterback, has thrown for, if you really look back from the Carolina game, I think they threw for 100 yards. The Eagles didn't throw the ball very much. The Giants threw the ball for 200 yards. People are running the ball at a high amount of snaps against us right now. Other than early in the year when we're up on those teams and they have to throw the ball 40 to, there's some quarterbacks right now throwing for 500 yards last week, and there's some quarterbacks throwing for over 40 completions last week. We're getting a limited amount of pass rush opportunities. And truthfully what happens, I think, picture it this way. It's 40 rushes, right? And you're playing the run and you're getting double teamed and you're setting the edge, and then all of a sudden it's a play action pass and you have to have a conversion rush where it's not drop back pass, right? And a lot of it's not drop back pass. We're getting a lot of early down play action pass where it's 6-7 man protection, where it's double team, and maybe there's one-on-one and there's two guys out on routes. So a lot of the passes that we are seeing that are in a limited role, it's going to be hard, much harder than if a team has to drop back and throw the ball 45 times against us, which I don't think any of us have seen, which is why I totally respect in all the questions. But in defense of these guys right now, there's limited opportunities to truly pass rush, because even on third down, the runs are going way up. The screens are going way up. People are just trying to get the ball into 4th and 2, right? And we have to do a better job of getting the ball back to the offense, playing complementary football, scoring, going up on people, so then we can let these guys go. And we just haven't been able to do that. The Eagles game is a 10-7 game. This is a 20-27 game. And who was before? The Panthers was a 13-16 game. There's just, we're not playing fourth quarter NFL football where it's pass. So I think, respectfully, with all the questions and the things about Rashawn's doing a really good job. I think Rashawn is playing the run game and playing as physical as he has, and we're playing really good run defense, and that's those guys. And when teams have to start throwing the ball on us, then I'm really looking forward to see those pressures and those sacks come. Does that make sense, what I'm trying to explain to you there?
It does. Look, you have all the trends and you're looking at everything. I think it's hard because of the expectations that come with contracts and roles to see, him go 3 games, however many pressures he has opportunity to make. It just, and maybe unfairly, we're comparing him to Micah, who finds a way even when they're really quick pressures.
There's no doubt about that, and I think Rashawn would appreciate you comparing him to Micah. And are there times where guys are getting one-on-one? Sure. And are there times we want them to win more? Absolutely. I mean, we definitely do. So I'm not putting this in a box and saying it's all one or the other. It does need to get better, but I'd like to get more opportunities to go pass rush too.
Jeff, I'm not just asking this because of the drops in New York, and this, I don't intend this to be another need or more takeaway question.
Sure.
I'm honestly wondering, because when you look at your pass defense, you rank near the top of the league in basically any metric except for
takeaways,
interceptions. Do those need to come eventually to get to where you want to be, or is that enough with everything else your pass rush is doing to win a Super Bowl?
No, we need more. We need, when we get the opportunity, like if you look back to that game, and how many opportunities do you think we had to intercept the ball, would you say?
5.
5. What would you say? We got any other takers? You're saying 4?
I thought 4.
Well, I said 4 that you didn't, 5 overall.
All right. So we had the opportunity to get 4, right? Like probably if you asked all of our players, they would say we should have made those plays, right? If we catch the ones they throw to us, we're sitting in here right now and we're right back in the middle of things and interceptions and takeaways. If we catch those balls that we had the opportunities to in that game, the pass rush is going to start to come, because then it's not, in all respect to the New York Giants, who I think played a very good game. If we catch those ones that they throw to us, that's not a close football game. It's just not.
Let's go.
I mean, we take the ball away, we give it to our offense, we go up, then it turns into a pass rush game where our ears are pinned back and they have to throw the ball 20 to 30 times more. But we have to make those plays to change the game, to go up on people and put people away quicker. We're playing good defense by all the metrics, by all the numbers. The thing I do appreciate is I think we have a takeaway in the last 4 games, and we had 2 this past game. So it's starting to get better. But that was an opportunity for us to make those plays and put somebody away. And unfortunately, we didn't capitalize on it. So we got to do a better job there.
I think that's interesting, Armen, where the frustration from the defensive coordinator is not necessarily in line exactly with what maybe some fans were. Maybe on Monday,
which I like,
we were very, very, very ticked that the Packers weren't squeezing more than 1 of 5.
Yeah.
Very, very catchable interceptions by one Jameis Winston. But taking the football away all year has been lacking. And I think that's the bigger mounting frustration for one Jeff Hafley than any run defense or pass rush lacking from Rashawn Gary that we're hearing.
No doubt. Jeff Hafley is cooking. The chef's dropping some bars in this presser. A couple interesting things there. Basically saying, and I agree with him, look, this thing is totally different. You're asking me different questions if we make the plays we should make. And I think
respect to the New York Giants.
All due respect, no due respect. I think he's right. And I don't know if I heard him blaming the offense a bit there. I don't think he meant it to be that way, but he's like, stop blaming my pass rushers. We got to get the ball so we can get the lead, so our guys can actually pin their ears back and rush in the dropbacks, which he's not wrong in that.
No.
However, your defense can be culpable to get the ball back for the offense. That would be my point.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. And throughout it, I thought he came with a number of different, moments in time and moments in the game where they clearly take the football away and take one of those opportunities.
Right.
Outside of the 2 that I'm thinking of on the touchdown drive where the Giants end up taking the lead 20-19, there's more opportunities for the Packers to take the football away and add on to that lead. And then, like he said, you get into more legit pass rush opportunities. And then maybe it looks a little bit more like it did the first 2 weeks of the season. 877-794-1973. It's no BS. It's statewide on the game. The Vikings side of the equation, one Aaron Jones. He had some thoughts about coming back to Lambeau Field for the second time. We'll hear some of those as we continue, go around the NFL, and final countdown for the high school football season is coming up. Our final hour is coming up. We're back before then. It's No BS with Billy Armen on the game.
Yeah, I'm free.
97.3 The Game. This is what's trending in Milwaukee now.
In Green Bay, Josh Jacobs returned to Packers practice as a limited participant. He said after the workout he'll try to play Sunday, but has to see how the next couple of days go. One player that's been nicked up but got back in the lineup last week is rookie wide receiver Matthew Golden, whose touches have been limited. Still, Coach Matt LaFleur isn't concerned.
I think he's done a great job. I think it's important to him. It's not like when he goes out there, he's doing a great job of executing and owning his responsibilities. So I haven't foreseen it being a problem.
The Packers play the Vikings on Sunday. Kickoff is at noon. One other Packers note, the NFL has shifted their Week 14 game against the Bears to 3:25. It had been a noon kickoff. The Bucs lose last night without Giannis 123-114 in overtime to the 76ers. They'll host the Pistons tomorrow. I'm Doug Russell on the Game Radio Network.
The border battle is renewed on Sunday as Green Bay hosts Minnesota at Lambeau.
Last year, we went 1-5. It's not where we wanted to be as a team in this division. And so I think this year, we want to provide just like a new outlook of what type of team that we are. And, we don't want to repeat that same the same stuff that we did last year.
Billy and Armen are previewing every angle all morning on the game.
Just think how much you're going to be missing. You don't have Nixon to kick around anymore.
A shark took her arm, but not her teenage desire to be a surfing champ. So next time life puts a little fear in you, just think of Bethany Hamilton hanging 10 on top of a heavy wave. That's real courage. Pass it on. A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
Listen to the Varsity Blitz High School Sports Show Saturday morning from 9 to 11. This week, we'll discuss the football state championships and then talk with a few football coaches' wives to find out how their year went. Only on Fox Sports 920 and your iHeartRadio app.
Happy birthday, Mr. President. Happy birthday to you.
Any carry now could be for the record. Bollinger under his center. Casey Robach takes. Gives it to Dane. Straight ahead. Dane across the 20. He's to the 25. Cuts right. Dane to the 30. 35. Dane across the 40. Dane across the 45-yard line. And there it is. Ron Dane has become the NCAA's all-time career rushing leader. It's about the time she walked away from me. Nobody likes you when you're 23. And you still act like you're a freshman year. What the hell is wrong with me? My friends say I should act my age. That's about the time that she broke up with me. No one should take themselves so seriously. With many years ahead to fall in line. Why would you wish down on me? I never want to act my age. What's my age again? What's my age again?
It shall be the policy of this nation to regard any nuclear missile launched from Cuba against any nation in the Western Hemisphere as an attack by the Soviet Union on the United States.
I was offside on the play, Matt.
President Kennedy died at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Rick Springfield to get some insight on his latest release, Rocket Science.
It's a guitar-based record for sure, and I love big hooks, and not a country record at all. It's a rock and roll record, but it does have some country elements.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from Rick Springfield and all your favorite artists.
For the love of Pete! What's going on out there?
Message marked urgent.
We're here for you now on the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line at 1-877-794-1973.
Just inches, 16 seconds remaining. Here are the Packers. Third down, inches to go. To Pater. 17-14. Cowboys out in front. Packers trying for the go-ahead score. Starr begins the count. Takes the snap. He's got the quarterback sneak, and he's in for the touchdown, and the Packers are out in front. 20-17. There's 13 seconds showing on the clock, and the Green Bay Packers are going to be world champions, NFL champions for the third straight year.
Wash our hands of this.
No BS on the game. Bucks needed a little more help without Giannis Antetokounmpo last night, as you're back on No BS. Still shooting 39% from three, Armen.
They had a
but
pretty good
needed
night in a lot of ways. Yeah.
A little more in the overtime period. A 32 spot from Ryan Rollins on 26 shots.
Well, he's a volume guy right now for the
14
Bucks.
dimes, though, for Ryan Rollins in the 40 minutes last night.
No, he played well. Like, the volume's got to go somewhere with Giannis out. And the Bucks have generally acquitted themselves well. I think they just got to get the win. I mean, it is what it is. You're gonna struggle without Giannis, and that's the reality of it. You don't really necessarily have the depth of stars or talent that we used to have without him. But they were right there with the Sixers last night. If it wasn't for Tyrese Maxey going nuclear,
yeah.
If it wasn't for Quentin Grimes doing it, and Edwards, whoever this guy was, I don't even.
Yeah, whatever Justin Edwards was in
Kentucky,
the
right?
overtime, I was not a big fan of that one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
you're
did-
right. Kentucky.
He didn't do anything though all game, and then all of a sudden in overtime, he's like the man. I'm like, well, this is kind of frustrating, but that's just the way it goes sometimes.
Yeah, and I mean, Maxey was phenomenal. He goes
Amazing.
47 minutes and 54 points last night.
He's becoming a star in this league, man. Really.
No doubt about it. Also 3 steals and 3 blocks as a guard is downright disrespectful. So he was phenomenal. Bucks lose last night. Philadelphia's 9-6 overall. Bucks are 8-8, and they are just getting by without Giannis. Might be the nicest way of putting it. And I assume there's probably going to be a little bit more of that, even though they've lost 4 of their last 5, including 3 straight.
Well, that's the reality. I mean, this team is built around Giannis. You talk about heliocentric, you talk about all those things, and if for good reason, but we don't have him, it's going to be a struggle.
What'd you think of the new court last night for the
I
Cream
loved
City
it.
debut?
I loved it. Here's the thing about special courts, right?
They're
Obviously,
made for special seasons.
there you go. Obviously, the NBA Cup courts are awful, too bright, too crazy, too wild. Don't like it. Not fun to watch. The courts for City Edition, right, can sometimes be too much, but this one was good. It was just a little bit of depth with the little map grid.
The street map
The
grid
street map
was
grid.
intense.
It was such a great idea, and it didn't totally mess up the visual.
Yep.
It just had a little separation with the wood to the inside of the paint. And Billy, you know the old man like dork in me. I love maps.
Yeah,
I'm
knew
really
you
into
were all
maps.
over that one.
It was so great. The problem is I was kind of like then
You were trying to
obsessing-
figure out what street was which.
Is this
I've been
like,
there.
I'm
I'm a
like,
maps
is
nerd,
this
too.
Burleigh? Like, is this actually accurate? I'm looking for the parks. I'm looking for like, that's at National Avenue. And then it's like, Armin, watch the ball game. Don't look at the map here. It's a cool idea. I liked it a lot, Billy. I really did.
I think it would be one of those deals that would be fun to be able to somehow put up for people to see.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I wonder if they would make it somewhat of an attraction, like even if it's at their come by season ticket dinners
and walk around the court.
walk around and see the Cream City court, because it was sweet. It was very, very cool. And to your point, sometimes they can be a little much. I know you didn't like the Miami Heat culture one where they put all their sayings on the lane. I thought that was kind of interesting. I thought that was unique.
Well, it's unique. I didn't
Cool.
like it for multiple reasons, but
Well, you hate the Miami Heat.
it was
That's-
also
that's
too
right.
busy. I'm not sitting there trying to read. Like, it was just, what is this? Like, you know what I mean?
That was too busy, but the entire city grid wasn't too busy in the.
First of all,
inside
it's
the arc.
sideways in the TV camera. So I'm like turning my head to watch. We are the best, coolest, hardest working, toughest, nicest, coolest, but tough. But
We're
help
talking
your
about
grandma-
people from Miami.
Help your
That
grandma
can't be
across the
right.
street, but punches you in the face. Like,
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, keep telling yourself that. It's like,
We leave games early in the NBA Finals that our teams come back to win.
yeah, thank you. It's like back in school, and the girl would walk around with the shirt. Oh, never mind.
Okay. Good pause.
Segment's
button there.
about to end there.
Good pause button there. 877-794-1973.
Like, if you gotta wear a shirt that says "Hottie" on it, I think you're trying to project.
Oh, sure. That could be.
That was like a thing with Abercrombie.
What about Juicy? That used to be on the ass.
Juicy? Well,
that used to be on the
that
pants.
was that was
yeah.
a brand though. Yeah, that was a brand.
Sorry.
Well, that, but also there were some other ones.
Yeah,
some other ones that were rather intriguing. 877-794-1973. Get you set for the entire slate of the NFL calendar coming up. Maybe go around the world and around the NFL. Talk a little bit about the high school state title games coming up. We're going to reach hour number 4. It's the final countdown of the week. And also, we're going to give our predictions for Packers and Vikings, one of which might be a difficult one to deliver. Stay tuned. Hour 4 is next on the game.
2022.
You do like to grab attention.
No BS will be back in just a moment.
I'm Rhett Lewis with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. Week 12 of the NFL season kicked off in Houston, where the Texans defense put on a show, racking up 8 sacks, 2 interceptions, and a fumble recovery on their way to a 23-19 upset over the Bills. The win set Houston to 6-5, keeps them just a half game back in the AFC wildcard race. In Cincinnati, Joe Burrow was a full participant at practice for the second straight day. Great news for Bengals fans who've been without the star quarterback after he was placed on injured reserve after week 2 with a toe injury. Staying in the AFC North, Aaron Rodgers returned to practice today on a limited basis after missing Wednesday's session. Future Hall of Famer sustained a fracture in his left wrist during the Steelers' Week 11 game against Cincinnati. And in Indianapolis, Daniel Jones was a surprise addition to the Colts injury report on Thursday. Start QB limited with a calf injury. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. Wounded Warrior Project was created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war, whether those scars are physical or mental. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
1 in 4 Americans have a disability. I'm one of them. I'm also a working mom who cares deeply about making sure every child with a disability thrives by getting their access needs met. We've got a trusted ally by our side. Easter Seals provides children and families the foundation for lifelong success through early learning programs, skills training, and prep for college and career. That's my Easter Seals. Make it yours. Join us at easterseals.com.
What an incredible Cinderella story. This unknown comes out of nowhere to lead the pack. At Augusta, he's on his final hole. He's about 455 yards away. He's going to hit about a 2-iron, I think. Well, he got all of that. The crowd is standing on its feet here at Augusta. The normally reserved Augusta crowd going wild for this young Cinderella who's come out of nowhere. He's got about 350 yards left. He's going to hit about a 5-iron, I expect, don't you think? He's got a beautiful backswing. He got all of that one. He's got to be pleased with that. The crowd is just on its feet here. He's a Cinderella boy. Tears in his eyes, I guess, as he lines up this last shot. He's got about 195 yards left, and looks like he's got about an 8-iron. This crowd has gone deathly silent. Cinderella story, out of nowhere. A former greenskeeper now about to become the Masters champion. It looks like a miracle. It's in the hole! It's in the hole!
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Elton John to discuss the creative formula when working with Bernie Taupin.
Well, we were a group of musicians and writers, or Bernie and I were writers, and we never wanted to rest on our laurels. We never did. It was all about the next one. Let's see if we can make a musically better album than the next one, take a little bit more risks. You know, all my albums were very different from each other. Elton John was different from Tumbleweed, was just different from Madman, which was different to Honky Chateau. So, you know, we didn't repeat the same formula. We were a group of musicians finding our way and having a joyous experience doing it. And I think the momentum of that and the fact that we did get on well with each other, it just came as a natural progression. And we didn't think about it. I mean, this is instantaneous music. This is not brill building stuff. This is, I sit down, write the song, the band's there, go over the studio, play it, bang.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Elton John and all your favorite artists.
You're rather
What?
attractive for a beautiful girl with a great body.
A shotgun snap to Lovey, bobbles for a moment, now lofts it, right side of the end zone, Watson, leaping grab, oh, sensational touchdown catch, Christian Watson, my, oh, my, oh, my.
I've got a little poem that I'd like to read in honor of this occasion, if I may. It's fall to get your foot out the boat. It's easy to grin when your ship comes in, And you've got the stock market beat. But the man worthwhile is the man who can smile when his shorts are too tight in the seat. Okay, Pookie, do the honors.
Bless this ship and all who sail on her. I christen thee the Flying Wasp.
What you waiting for? Let's go.
Make sure to make us a preset on the iHeartRadio app so you can listen to us anytime, anywhere. Wisconsin's home for sports and stuff. We are the Game.
Starting the final countdown into the stretch run for the Green Bay Packers as they fire up their divisional play. 4 of their next 5 tilts against the NFC North, including their first of 3 straight against the division. And it's the Minnesota Vikings first up at Lambeau Field coming up on Sunday at high noon as the Packers take on the Vikings. You'll be listening to it on the Packers Radio Network, which is now in Milwaukee. Big 95.7. You'll find it there. Also on WIXX in Green Bay. If you're listening there and you're finding us statewide on 1070 The Game. Final countdown of the week, Armen. Good week to be hanging out, talking some ball. State title games going down at Camp Randall. Big game coming up tomorrow night at Camp Randall as the Badgers welcome in the Fighting Illini. And good day, according to the Milwaukee Brewers, to be celebrating Bryce Terang's birthday.
How about that? Happy birthday, Bryce Terang, a young star for the Brewers that's got a very promising career ahead of him, and we hope it continues. So happy birthday, young Bryce. I'm sure he'll be celebrating his birthday with the same expression he had. He'll be blowing out the candles going, thanks, cool. That's totally Bryce.
I was gonna say, what did you think the celebration for one Bryce Terang's birthday would ultimately be?
It wouldn't be like the celebration they had the night after they beat the Cubs in Game 5. Not that type of celebration that happened.
The whole reaction will be the same. One day we'll win the World Series.
So he was the boring guy at that party, is what you're saying?
He's just chill, man.
Okay.
It's his energy. He will win the World Series one day, and he'll be totally just chill with it. And it'll be, I'm sure inside he's super excited about the cake, about the ice cream, about the balloons.
I don't know. Tell how happy I am.
I'm assuming he's going to have that type of party. I don't know.
This is what we've been waiting for our whole lives. Pretty awesome time. It's everything you dream of.
Everything you dream of. It's going like going.
Just really excited to be able to do this for the city.
Yeah,
excited to do this with my guys. Super nondescript. However, hell of a baseball player.
Great player, and everyone's got their own person. Yeah, he's. I said Billy. I think he's got potential because of what he can do defensively, and he keeps expanding his game offensively. He's been better and better each year. He could go on to have a really special career. And, I don't want to put a cart above the horse, but he's got a long one ahead of him. So it'd be nice if he's a Brewer for most of that.
It would be very, very nice if he was a Brewer for most of it. And I'm glad that you mentioned that part of it.
I would like
let's
that.
be honest, that's definitely always going to be a part of the conversation. You were all in on Bryce Terang to the point where you said, like, hey, man, this guy's going to get MVP votes.
I thought that. Definitely he could. I don't know if he ended up getting it.
He ended up not. Now, in all reality, kind of surprised that one Pete Crow Armstrong grabbed some, and frankly, Paul Skeens got some ahead of him. However, listen, there was always going to be an interesting way for it to slide up. I didn't necessarily anticipate the offensive output that he could fully be able to put together. And Terang did end up registering actually below even Christian Yelich on total points for the MVP balloting. He got 1 4th place vote, 1 5th place vote. Yelich ended up grabbing 1 4th place vote.
Yeah, you're right.
And 4 6th place votes.
So he's officially 14th in the MVP balloting, and Yelich was officially 12th.
I don't know, hang the banner for that. I would.
I mean, it's something, no doubt about it. You have to look at what he can do from a defensive standpoint, and now that he's expanding his game offensively. He had the 18 home runs this year. Billy, I love the advanced stats, the WAR and stuff like that. He's going to be stacking up those WAR points, definitely. And that's what PCA did as well with defense. So you mentioned him, but Bryce Terang was right there with him. So we knew Shohei was going to get MVP.
Yeah, that was an
I
easy
think
one.
that was an easy one.
Unanimous. I think actually both of the big time awards on the National League side were unanimous.
Yeah.
Skeens won the Cy Young unanimously, and it's gonna be hard for anybody to beat Shohei. Let's be honest, Armin. Hard to beat this kind of lineup that you get for NFL games coming up this weekend.
Oh, we got to go.
Now we've obviously focused mostly on Packers and Vikings, and a little bit on that 190 miles south of where we sit here in Milwaukee. But Steelers Bears is very appetizing, not only from the Rodgers going up against his former ownership stake, but I think it's also really fascinating when you think of how impactful it is for the AFC North. We're thinking about it only on the NFC North side. And when are the Bears going to start losing some of these tight one-score games? The Steelers are trying to cling to that lead in the division, even though they got a rather, comfortable victory a week ago when Jamar Chase is spitting on Jalen Ramsey and he's getting thrown out of the game. And they've won 2 of 3, including a dub against the Colts. Everything's far from, copacetic there in Pittsburgh. I think everybody's still a little bit nervous as to how they've looked over the last number of weeks.
Yeah, and they don't know what to expect from their quarterback position. That being said, I would think they're happy about the position they're in. I think going into the season, this is kind of what they hope for by bringing in Aaron Rodgers, that they'd be able to, take a next step into being maybe a division champion. This is a team that's consistently been very average over the last, how many years with the 9 wins or the 8 wins, whatever it was every year. So this is maybe their chance to get a little bit better here. And I think a lot of it has to do, obviously, with Aaron Rodgers. But is he healthy? What are the Bears going to show us this week? Are they going to continue to find their late game one-score magic? Hard to say. I know Bears are a home favorite. Makes sense in that one. This is going to be a really interesting game, Billy, and obviously one that a lot of people's eyes are going to be on. As Packer fans, we have it for multiple reasons. We want the Bears to lose. Please, Aaron, play. Please do it to them once again. This is what we want. So,
what do you think will be more interesting if Rodgers plays for the Steelers against the Bears, or if Burrow's back for the Bengals against the Patriots?
I think it's Rodgers, but that's also because I'm more interested in general in him. But I think it's also because the Steelers are in good shape with the chance to do something. It'd still be a uphill climb for the Bengals to get back.
Bengals would probably have to win out.
Yeah, they have to be in the playoff race. They have to win out. Now, that's what Burrow did something similar last year. And then in the last game of the year, they needed a loss by somebody. I'm forgetting who now, and didn't get it. So understandably so, they didn't get it. But Burrow's shown the ability to do it. Very good quarterback when he's healthy. We know that. The weapons are all there. So they are the type of team that could go on a run. So that would be interesting, Billy. I think both of them would be in that regard. Also, the Bengals are playing the Patriots. So can the Patriots continue what they've been doing to shock everybody? And Drake May's been kind of the sexy front runner pick for MVP, which is interesting. I don't think of him as an MVP. I don't necessarily think if you put his season up against a bunch of other MVP type seasons from years past, he'd be in the front running. But this is kind of a weird era now with the award and with quarterbacks where everyone's kind of in that same economy and there isn't that one superstar numbers thing. Like Lamar's had that. Patrick's had that. We aren't getting that this year.
And then Lamar didn't win it with the numbers.
Well, exactly. Yeah.
Like last year, Lamar's numbers were clearly better than Allen's. However, the word value actually meant something. And I don't mean that in a angry way towards the rest of the voting. I think generally the numbers can be pretty predictive and tell a lot of how valuable you are comparatively to the other quarterbacks. Because like you're saying, it's not crazy to see somebody throw for 4,400 yards anymore. We've seen
part of it.
We've seen a lot of people throw for 35, 40 touchdowns,
and
right?
Reduce their interceptions.
Not that crazy. Burrow's numbers are probably damn near better than all of them last year, and his team didn't get in the playoffs, so the value plummets. I think the May conversation is actually like value to the team. For a large period of the year, he was their leading rusher, not only their star quarterback. So like that part's interesting. If you're the Bengals, though, like you talking about got to win now if you're going to be able to give yourself any bit of a chance to make it. This for the Patriots also coming in at 9-2, and they haven't lost away from Foxborough.
That's right.
I think everybody preseason could have identified like 4 or 5 games where, okay, they're getting a 4th place schedule, them being New England. Where are they going to have trouble? This would have been one you circled preseason.
Sure.
It's all about when you play them. And if they get Burrow back, different deal. If not, you're looking at a 10-2 Patriots team and maybe a team that's like right now a hard team to knock out of the number 1 seed in the AFC.
Yeah, it sure seems like it. And then this is a position I don't think any of us thought they'd be in, but they're staring at it right there. So a lot has to do with if Burrow's going to come back. I mentioned Drake May as a front runner. I think Stafford's there too for MVP. I think he'd be the other one I'm talking about right now. Now that's talking about true value. You talk about Stafford and the Rams. Obviously without Stafford, they're not this team, right? So I think everybody realizes the value he's had, and they've been really, really good this year. They've had the record in the NFC. I famously took the under because I didn't think Stafford was going to be healthy, or I didn't really know. So I think that's a better example of anything. I know Devontae's having a great year. He's got 10 touchdowns now.
Tremendous year.
He
is an absolute layup around the goal line. No doubt.
That's helping him with his, I know he's, Hall of Fame aspirations. A year like this later in his career is definitely helping him. So,
well, we talked about it earlier in the show. There's not one clear-cut team that you could say and pound the table for. That team's the best team in football, and I don't think it's close. Somebody on the talking text line did say, well, what about the Rams? I think they might be the closest. They probably are the closest, especially after their win a week ago, which you could argue is the biggest win in football.
Yeah.
They also would have had the biggest win in football 2 months ago if they wouldn't have spit it up against Philadelphia and had those 2 block kicks, and ultimately the one by Jordan Davis, which was on a game-winning attempt to ice the game. They would have won that game. You'd very much be looking at a 27 touchdown, I think 2 or 3 pick year from Stafford, and he'd be a clear front runner for the MVP. Couple of drags. Lions host the Giants. They should get right there. They're a 9.5-point favorite at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. In that one, now it's up to 10.5 points. There, Baltimore hosts the Jets. Jets are going to Tyrod Taylor instead of Justin Fields, understandably so. Fields' numbers are putrid this season. Seattle goes to Tennessee, laying 13 in Nashville after Darnold throws 4 picks in the Rams game. Probable get-right game there. And then into the afternoon slate, Colts and Chiefs. Phenomenal game. I thought that was in the late afternoon. Great part of the noon slate as well with the Chiefs and Colts.
What a noon game to have.
The Colts come off of a bye with the opportunity at 8-2 to damn near put a dagger in the Chiefs season. Like, that's a hard one at 5-6 to think that they're coming back. After I just made the case for a 3-7 team to still be able to make the playoffs.
And you got shares.
They're far from out.
Yeah.
But that's a hell of a spot.
Sure.
Indianapolis coming off a bye, knowing that they've been eyeing this one up, and the Chiefs spitting up 2 very, very winnable contests.
Well, I'm surprised this doesn't feel like a noon game, right? It feels like a prime timer. But you know what? The Chiefs at home with a absolute must-win type situation, hungry. It just feels like they're going to empty their whole bag against the Colts. So Indianapolis has to be ready in that one. It feels like the Chiefs are going to give it their best effort because of the situation. But one of these, Billy, I'm surprised is at noon, because it seems like a game that you could put on a primetime game.
Just wait till I hit the primetime one.
Well, like Browns Raiders, you want to see that one, right?
That is becoming maybe the most anticipated start for any game coming up this.
I joke about it because both teams stink, but there's a lot to watch in that game, right?
This would generally be the game that only exists because sportsbooks exist.
Generally. But
Shedeur Sanders making his first start is must-see TV.
Yeah.
Not because I don't think he's going to go 4 of 16. Like, he might. He very much might. He also could go 14 of 16. And the entire NFL media landscape will be lit on fire.
Definitely will be, no doubt about it. I mean, whatever way this goes, it's going to go one of 2 ways.
Pre-draft, most people just had Shedeur ticketed to go to the Raiders because for the majority of his life, he'd actually been trained by your boy, Tom Brady, as Brady and Deion Sanders.
It's a bad look for Tom.
Close personal friends.
Bad look for Brady.
Well, maybe the good look for Brady was the fact that he passed on him 6 times in the draft.
Yeah, I mean,
right? Like, I mean, they had 6 different opportunities to draft him, and they didn't. When they had Geno Smith for a 2-year deal, and it's like, I mean, you clearly are going to need somebody else. Yeah, we like Aiden O'Connell maybe a little better.
That's a bad look. When you like Aiden O'Connell better, and you're like, I've been training you. I've been seeing you enough to know that you're not very good.
Probably not going to be that good.
Well, thanks, Tom. What were you training me for? How good is your training? So I think you can throw that both ways. both ways.
Oh, it's a phenomenal opportunity for you to take a shot at Brady. That's why I tried to set you up for it.
But will he be fired up to play them? Will he have a little bit of motivation?
Yeah.
Will that matter? I mean, you can be motivated. I can be motivated to play the Raiders. It don't matter. So, like, you can be motivated and fired up and, like, I got a chip on my shoulder. I'm going to come show them what I got. And maybe what you got is a 5-yard pass in the dirt. That's the problem for Shedeur. Like, that being said, he was kind of thrown into the lines then. So you talk about a guy that's going to get a game plan, going to get prepared to start, going to be starting against a team that is beatable. Maybe Shedeur will have a good game. So you're right, Billy. This is becoming a very interesting game to see what he'll be doing here.
And the one thing I know that you can guarantee is this game will be discussed, if not more than any other, second to maybe Chiefs and Colts on Monday on the 4-Letter Network. Like, Overreaction Monday is built for Browns and Raiders, and you're like, why on earth are we talking about 2-2-win teams?
Well, and Eagles-Cowboys, but
because the quarterback is there.
Right. No, I agree. And Eagles-Cowboys, depending on what Jerry says.
Well, that, and I mean, frankly, the game that should be discussed most is Buccaneers and Rams. Right. Rams hosting the Bucs on Sunday Night Football. That's an incredible game. And the Rams is a 7-point favorite at home, and I'm very excited to be able to see, because Baker and the Bucs drop one in Buffalo where they had 9 different lead changes a week ago. You want a good football game, go back and see some of that. I mean, that was a tremendous contest between those two.
Yeah, I like the over in that. But the Buccaneers going west, Billy, I think is part of that, right? We'll see how that goes.
You like the over for 49.5? Okay, Armen, sorry, and already setting some.
It's going to be points in that game.
Setting some hooks for a parlay of the day, which we'll fire in about 15 minutes.
That smells like 27-24 in the middle of fourth quarter, you know?
I like where your head's at.
Ish. Maybe 28-21.
We're going to put our heads together at the Potawatomi Sportsbook and find a victory, because even though we had one leg victorious yesterday, one doesn't pay for a 3-pick parlay at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. We got to go 3 for 3. We're going to find that winner coming up on the other side as we roll along with you. 877-794-1973. It is Border Battle Week. It's Rivalry Week. And we have not heard a no from Paul Allen in about 2.5 shows. Stay straight ahead. Those are coming up as we get ready for Packers and Vikings right here on The Game.
Better run, never look back. Better walk, you don't want that. Once you get hit with that venom, get your head and tail spinning, then swerving up them curves, drinking like it might be worth it. Ooh, she'll get you in the time, leave you victimized. She's a Friday night heartbreaker.
Want to watch No BS?
We'll do anything it takes.
They're live on YouTube, Facebook, and X right now.
We have a place for it.
Just search 97.3 The Game. It's an NFC North battle at Lambeau Field on Sunday as the Packers host the Vikings.
It's going to come down to a couple plays. That's how most of the games are in this league. And I've got a lot of respect for those guys over in Minnesota. I think they got a great roster. I think they got a great coaching staff. So it should be a great football game. Hopefully our fans will show up in droves and not sell their tickets to the Vikings fans, because we've seen that happen before too.
We're getting you ready for the matchup all day on The Game.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Neil Sean to ask about Journey's music being featured in the final episode of The Sopranos.
I did follow The Sopranos, and I watched it when I wasn't working. And I remember getting an email months prior to the last episode. And it was, I believe it was from the director. And he was, basically saying, hey, we're talking about using Don't Stop Believing in the final episode of Sopranos. And I went, oh, cool. That's cool. If it happens, great. If it doesn't, it's cool too. And I wasn't glued to the TV. I was actually on the internet, and my phone just started blowing up. People were like, dude, did you see that? And I was like, what? And it was just like, I got so many calls one after another. Got to see the episode, the next day. And I was like, wow, this is just amazing.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Neil Sean and all your favorite artists.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Elton John to discuss some of the secrets behind songwriting and success.
Artists think too much. You write a great song, it's going to register with people. Don't think about what sound I'm going for next. As you get older, you want to try different things out, and you want to, experiment. But in those days, it was nothing of the sort. We just went in there, wrote the songs. We had changed. We changed from the Elton John album into a full-fledged 4-piece band, but we hadn't realized, and it was not planned. It just happened. I'm a great believer in go through life. Trust the process, and something will happen if you have the faith to let it happen.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Elton John and all your favorite artists.
You may not play for your favorite team, but you act like it. Whether you're at work or outside on the grill, you carry them with you. No, not with a jersey, but a mindset as you crack open that ice-cold beer. Cheesehead TV and Gathering Place Brewing bring you Carry the G, a delicious and easy drinking cream ale. But it's not just for tailgating, it's for everyday life.
Well, we carry the G wherever we may be, so creamy and cold from the land of the green and gold.
Available throughout Wisconsin. 21 plus. Drink responsibly.
Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1967.
Van Morrison, formerly of the band Them, has a number 10 hit as a solo artist with Brown Eyed Girl. In July, LA band The Grassroots scored their first top 10 hit with Let's Live for Today. And UK supergroup Cream, featuring guitarist Eric Clapton, toured the US for the first time.
In the sunshine of your
And in September, Janis Joplin's band Big Brother and the Holding Company signed with Columbia Records and released their debut album. October of '67, Memphis band The Box Tops, including 17-year-old gravel voice singer Alex Chilton, have a number 1 hit with The Letter.
ticket for an aeroplane. Ain't got time to take a fast train. Lonely days are gone, I'm a going home. My baby used to whip me a leather. My baby used to whip me a leather.
And in November, the first issue of Rolling Stone magazine is published in San Francisco, featuring an interview with John Lennon. The Who have their first and only U.S. top 10 hit with I Can See for Miles. In December, they smashed their instruments on the Smothers Brothers TV show.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1967 coming up.
Listen to us live 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app and watch our shows each weekday on YouTube, Facebook, and X. We are The Game. We'll be right back on The Game.
Message marked urgent.
We're here for you now on the NicoleLaw.com talk and text line.
Hey, I'm just trying to find some answers here.
At 1-877-794-1973.
Wherever you go, I'll be with you. Whatever you want.
Football Friday on The Game, 877-794-1973.
All right, Billy, you mentioned this memory to me, and people have been talking about it.
Ooh, come on now,
It
let me
was
hear
10 years ago, the Snow Globe game.
Oh, yes, with Kimberly and Arrowhead, the
Kimberly
state title
and
game.
Arrowhead, and I saw on Twitter, I don't know much about him, head coach of Onalaska, Tom Yashinsky.
Mm-hmm.
He has a memory. He said, I was sitting in the Kimberly parent section. Kimberly was down 20. I'm sorry about this memory, but you weren't really an Arrowhead guy back then.
No, I was not.
Oh,
I was not
right.
affiliated at all.
Kimberly was
in
down.
college at this time.
You were in college, and you were a Whitnell guy through and through because that was your alma mater. Kimberly was down 21 in the third. People were grumbling about how unprepared they were, and that was a trend all year. Kimberly was in the midst of a 48-game winning streak that would stretch to 70.
48 games.
I looked at my wife. I said, if they complain about him here, what do you think they say about me in the stands? She goes, you don't want to know. And that was the day I learned you will never, ever win enough, no matter where you are, to please everybody. The game always has to be about more than just winning. It's a great lesson for all of us. All right, and today, the game has to be about more than just winning. Learned a lot about what that means from Coach Jones over the year at the clinic. Now, that was, now they came back to win, I guess, and it was the snow globe type of situation. I'm looking at
glorious visuals for that game.
similar in 2022, I want to, or 2023, one of those 2 years, where Columbus, the Division 4 game at night, it was just a beautiful look.
The beautiful, beautiful scene. That Kimberly one, Kimberly Arrowhead, though, in 15. I was reading, there was a really, really cool piece at the Journal Sentinel, or it might have been the Green Bay Post Crescent that they did yesterday. And being able to recount all the different stories from being in the stadium that day, like that one, and the people that on both sides of the coin. I mean, those are two of the heaviest of heavyweights that Wisconsin high school football gets. And that was an awesome game. I think they're down 21 with like 5 minutes to go in the third quarter, rattle off 28 unanswered points and win the state title and keep that winning streak going.
Crazy.
That's phenomenal.
And then they win it the next year after a phantom flag, and they beat Franklin in a game that Franklin would have gone up by 10 on a Kyle Lewis touchdown. But all of a sudden there was an offensive lineman downfield. And a lot of Franklin fans to this day will say, you know what, we still can't find that offensive lineman downfield. And you know what, Billy, that flag was dropped right there, right along that little sidelines there where Kimberly was, about 10 yards behind where an offensive lineman would have been downfield. And to this day, still haven't seen it on film.
Well, to this day, I'm
what I'm saying is that streak should have ended well before 70.
Still hasn't seen it.
Okay,
Still haven't seen it.
Go off. I will say I'm shocked that Franklin fans don't agree with the flag, though. I'm shocked that they haven't seen it.
Real quick.
It is crazy that they weren't able to see the yellow handkerchief on the field.
The defensive coordinator, John Pleva, is a very good man and is not one to yell at the referees, but I have never seen him as animated as he was on that play. And I'll not say what he said.
He might have been right.
He was right.
I didn't see it, so I'm not going to say he might have been right. So
he was.
What?
I think there's a key might.
Go off.
Yeah,
you get upset, Luddy. I like this.
These are the kids that I coached in youth football. The kids that were seniors and the kids that were juniors. So it meant something. Oh, geez.
Now Franklin did win state titles around that, though, right? Because every time
the year before they lost a heartbreaker to Arrowhead, or it would have been them in 2015.
Well, every time I drive home, it's on the damn sign. Franklin, home of Sabres.
2021, they won it. That was really fun to be there. I was there in 2021. Didn't know any of the kids on the team by that point.
But you enjoyed it.
I had a great old time. We had a hotel room, and I remember waking up the next morning going, man, I need a Bloody Mary.
See, that's the thing. It's about the memories. Awesome. It's about the times you spent. It's not about how many gold balls you got. That's what I told myself, because Greenfield's got 0. All right. So
well, now I'll tell you,
the gold ball.
One of the teams that didn't bring home the gold ball yesterday that I started pulling for, and I'm not. Listen, I was all about Mayville. Phenomenal football team.
Beautiful uniforms.
Redbirds just dominated. And you're right. They were a good look.
They were a
good look.
And they won.
On the kids.
Yeah, they won.
And they won going away. Dude, when I figured out where Northwestern High School actually is.
Yeah, do tell. I don't know.
Dude, it is about as far north as you possibly can get in Maple, Wisconsin.
Pretty awesome.
I realized that there was definitely some people that were listening to us in Maple, Wisconsin when we were on the Twin Port station.
Yeah, Douglas County, right?
Up there in Douglas County. I mean, it is 5.5 hours from the Megaplex to be able to get up there.
That's amazing.
It was still a full 4.5, 5 hour trek for them to get down to Camp Randall and celebrate those boys and enjoy that game. I mean, I was like, listen, Tomahawk's about as far north as I know where we're going. Like Rhinelander. I thought while I'm watching the game, what if I just Google Maps this to Rhinelander?
Mm-hmm.
The Hodag Dome.
Yeah.
Another 2 full hours.
So
think about the character building and the team camaraderie that football team has. Every single time they go on a road game, Armen, you're going 2.5+ hours with the boys.
Yeah.
Probably at least 2 hours with the boys on a bus ride. That's good team camaraderie.
And you know what?
I was pulling heavy for the Tigers last night when I realized how long all of their rides were.
And you know what? There's always kind of like, this is the coolest thing about it. There's always a small place and nook and cranny in this state you don't think of, you don't know about. But there you go. Northwestern Tigers. They got the big banner for their 88 Division III state football champions. If you can see it there.
That's what I'm saying.
Now they're going to and their football runners up. They're going to be. That's a very proud thing to have. You're the state runners up.
Yeah.
You want to be the champion. Everybody wants to be the champion, but sometimes you can't.
Way more fun. Yeah.
But you're gonna. They're gonna remember that season. They're gonna remember the good things. They're gonna remember the times they spent together on the bus, Billy.
Well, and I'm gonna remember number 45, who was playing left guard or playing like an H-back, Luddy, as well as defensive tackle. And my man was pulling around in front of that triple option every single snap. It was awesome to be able to watch.
Well, they got some big old boys
if you really, really like wide receivers,
Yeah.
Yesterday was not your day at the state title. However, today will be. Today will be your day if you like wide receivers or anybody lining up at the numbers. Today will be your day at the state title, but yesterday, physical football.
Did you see that?
Physical football. Shout out also, Wayne was right. He said, did y'all see Big Mike yesterday on the McAfee show? And he did have the Wisconsin high school football state championship logo on.
That's awesome.
And he had Notre Dame logo on. He had the West De Pere logo there and the Bayport logo. Supporting the boys up there in the 920. It was sweet to see from Big Mike.
He, what school did his kids go to?
That I do not know. I do know that he was at the Notre Dame game a couple of weeks ago and Kyle Malzahn got a sweet picture of Mike 1000% looking right at the camera of him taking a picture that was definitely not supposed to be of his face. Awesome photo. Awesome.
He's got the side eyes like, Kyle, you really? Oh yeah, he just took a
side eyes
picture.
looking
man.
right
Thanks,
at
man.
him like, you son of a thanks. I'm glad that you took that picture.
Well,
Make sure everybody does know that I'm supporting the kids.
Which school did he get tossed out of with the high school volleyball game?
Could not tell you.
I don't know, but
I wonder if it was one of those three.
He got his money's worth.
I don't know.
He got his $5, whatever the cost of money's worth. I don't know
Well,
what it cost.
playoff games,
Oh,
it's
was it a
five,
playoff
it's five,
game?
if not seven.
Maple is you know me. I always cheer for the small town. I'm a Hoosiers guy. I'm a Hickory Huskers guy. 649 people in the 2000 consensus. Now, my question is, did they just not bother taking this consensus? The census. Did I say consensus?
It was consensus that the census was that number.
The census is every 10 years. Did they just not bother with the last two? It's just, we're not even going to bother counting you
That's
guys.
a fair question. Well, it did say unincorporated when I looked it up online.
Right. It is unincorporated. The community of Blueberry is also there. It's kind of confusing because it's unincorporated, but it's also a town. I don't know. The reality is, nice job, guys. You did your best. You had a great run. You made that community proud, and that's what this is about. You made that community proud right there. So, man, that's pretty cool stuff. Do they have a downtown in Maine? I love this stuff. Northwest. I assumed it was St. John's Northwestern for a second.
Oh, you were thinking St. John's
Yeah.
Northwestern on the military academy.
Yeah.
No, it was St. Northwestern High School, way up there. And when I looked it up and I just looked up Northwestern High School, it just directed me straight to Maple County or Maple, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Click on Maple, Wisconsin. First thing that I saw was a stop sign and the football field.
That's it.
I got so juiced up.
That's
I
it.
was so fired up and pulling hard for the Tigers. We'll be pulling big time for everybody to be playing well coming up today. Everybody to be playing well and representing themselves good. Starts up here in about a half hour from right now when Grafton and Reedsburg will take on each other in the Division III game. Notre Dame, West De Pere. Massive game in D2 and for the Fox Valley, as well as Arrowhead Bayport in the nightcap at Camp Randall. Looking very much forward to that. Very much looking forward to the Badgers and Illinois Fighting Illini in a nightcap coming up tomorrow. Now, I did read some very, very disappointing and frustrating numbers according to Badgers football involving their offense. Where I think they're like second to last, Armen, in terms of rush offense in all of college football, or in terms of all of offense in college football.
Well, unfortunately, we know
I should say.
that they've struggled. Unfortunately, I mean,
we do know though that they are going to get somebody back in full coming up in the running back room this week. Looks like you're going to see the most of Darian Dupree you've seen in probably a month and a half.
Okay.
Now, Gideon Atuka, very, very good and fortunate to be able to see him on the team playing.
I saw that.
Don't expect to see him coming up this weekend, but we might see a lot more of Darian Dupree, who came in reserve of Atuka against Indiana. This is like his second full week back after suffering a knee injury early in the year. He kind of came in as their number 2 guy. Last year, flashed late in the year when he got some opportunities, pretty much the same time. Second to last, third to last game of the year, due to a number of injuries in front, got himself onto the field, looked good, and earned himself some run. Now, Dylan Jones ended up winning the starting job in Platteville and in camp this year. He's done all year with his injury declared out for the season. A young back who I think a lot of people kind of forgot about, but all due respect to Gideon Atuka and what he did, Darian Dupree was expected to be rumbling through Big Ten defenses. So that could be a good one coming back here for the Badgers. They're going to need all of it because Illinois is super veteran, very, very good, 21st ranked in the country. And also, like we talked about it with LePay yesterday, a group and a team that coming into the year, they had some of the most returners and returning starters in all of FBS, all of the Power Four. There was the thought they were going to go to the college football playoff and they would be the third Big Ten team in.
Yeah.
Season has not gone according to plan there, but they're spending a decent amount of money on that roster and all the older guys are still playing. I assume you see a hell of an effort coming in from the Illini. It's going to take everything for Wisconsin to not only stay in the game, their defense is going to keep them in pretty much every game they play now. I know some people are saying outside of the Iowa game, well, you throw 2 picks inside the 5-yard line to defensive linemen, not all in the defense. Their defense is going to keep them in just about every game. If they can get anything from the offense, maybe we can have another fun night coming up on Saturday night at the camp.
Yeah, and they've had higher, obviously, aspirations for this year, the way they started. They're 4-3 in the Big Ten now, but they still have a lot to play for. So I would think they're going to be hungry to come in and take care of business. The challenge for Wisconsin is, can you muster up the game plan? Can you muster up the energy? Can you muster up the big plays needed to be necessary with the senior night, with the home crowd, to try and push that back as you play under the lights at Camp Randall? It's going to be the third day of great football at Camp Randall in a row. So hopefully there is something in there. I think we talked to Matt LePay about this yesterday. You draw back to the Washington game. You draw back to what you did in that game. You draw back to the things you learned about yourself, especially defensively, and said, okay, we know it's inside us, all the guys in this room. We know it's inside us, the ability to come out, play well, and pull off a win like this. Let's do everything we have to do to try and put ourselves in position to get a win like that, Billy. I think some institutions have Illinois minus 8.5. So, they're a heavy favorite, but it's not insurmountable by any stretch of the imagination. It'd be nice if you got some of that running game going a little bit. That's one thing that we've been used to as Badger fans all these many years over the decades. That really hasn't been there much, but maybe they can open up some creases. Maybe they can do that, control the clock a little bit, control the ball, and see where the chips fall there in the second half.
Cool graphic that the Badgers put out here for their seniors, and 6-pack of the seniors down here. Ricardo Hallman, Aaron Witt, been with the program for 6 years. Daryl Peterson,
been through a lot.
Joe Brunner, Mason Reiger, Jackson Aker. Yeah, those guys have been through a ton. They've seen a ton. Their time in Madison. Hopefully they can get sent out the right way for the Badgers coming up on Saturday night at Camp Randall. 6:30 kick pregame with our friend Mike Heller. Will start at 4:30 on the Badger Sports Network. All right, let's fire in a parlay of the day at the Potawatomi Sportsbook on the other side. Set you up for success going into the weekend, and with our predictions for Packers and Vikings. It's next. It's No BS on the Game.
Stay tuned.
You do like to grab attention.
No BS will be back in just a moment.
Eric Tasker here from Tailgate Talk. Paul Wagner and myself are back with a new show live anywhere you find podcasts. We gather around the tailgate and talk about the gun deer season in Wisconsin, the statewide holiday that is Orange Friday, and some of the DNR's anticipation with a high harvest for this year's gun deer season. It's a great time to be in the woods, but if you need something to get you through your day or driving up to deer camp, just search for Tailgate Talk on the iHeartRadio app or everywhere you find podcasts.
iHeartRadio.
Here are the top Aretha Franklin songs that you've thumbed up.
Number 3.
You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman.
Number 2.
Freeway of Love.
Number 1.
Respect. Hear more from Aretha Franklin and similar artists now.
Search for Aretha Franklin on iHeartRadio.
All your favorite music.
All your favorite stations.
All free.
Are you crying? There's no crying. There's no crying in baseball.
Looking back at the world of sports.
It's the iHeartRadio Weekend Sports Time Capsule.
What's happening, fellow sports fans? It's Andy West, and I'm here to take you on a journey back to this week in sports history. We'll start off in 1934. The New York Yankees acquired Joe DiMaggio from the San Francisco Seals of the Pacific Coast League. Over the course of his 13-year Major League career, DiMaggio led the Yankees to 9 World Series championships. This week in 1975, the Vikings' Fran Tarkenton becomes the all-time completions leader in the NFL. Tarkenton completes his 2,840th pass in the Vikings' 28-13 win over the Chargers. This week in 1977, Walter Payton of the Bears rushes for a then NFL record 275 yards. This week in 1978, Philadelphia's Herman Edwards returns a fumble for a touchdown with 30 seconds left to give the Eagles a 19-17 victory over the Giants. Instead of taking a knee to preserve a 17-12 victory, Giants quarterback Joe Pisarcik botches the handoff to fullback Larry Zonka. Edwards picked up the drop ball and ran 26 yards for the winning touchdown, which is now referred to as the Miracle at the Meadowlands. And this week in 2014, Samaje Perine of Oklahoma sets the single-game FBS record by rushing for 427 yards in the Sooners' 44-7 win over Kansas. Perine breaks the single-game FBS record of 408 set by Wisconsin's Melvin Gordon a week earlier.
And that's just some of what happened this week in sports history. The Weekend Sports Time Capsule on iHeartRadio.
Oh my God! They killed Kenny!
It is my professional opinion that now is the time to panic.
No longer will older Americans be denied the healing miracle of modern medicine.
Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1967.
Van Morrison, formerly of the band Them, has a number 10 hit as a solo artist with Brown Eyed Girl. In July, LA band The Grassroots scored their first top 10 hit with Let's Live for Today. And UK supergroup Cream, featuring guitarist Eric Clapton, toured the US for the first time.
In the sunshine of your love.
And in September, Janis Joplin's band Big Brother and the Holding Company signed with Columbia Records and released their debut album. October of '67, Memphis band The Box Tops, including 17-year-old gravel voice singer Alex Chilton, have a number 1 hit with The Letter.
Yeah, a ticket for an aeroplane. Ain't got time to take a fast train. Lonely days are gone, I'm a going home. My baby used to put me together. My baby used to put me together.
And in November, the first issue of Rolling Stone magazine is published in San Francisco, featuring an interview with John Lennon. The Who have their first and only U.S. top 10 hit with I Can See for Miles. In December, they smashed their instruments on the Smothers Brothers TV show.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1967 coming up.
He's holding it too long. Just run. Throw it, man.
And I said, what about breakfast at Tiffany? She said, I think.
Come on now, go get it.
Armen, when we snuck the keg into the dorm freshman year at UWM, this was the first song that came on, and
it's kind of cool.
The song to our weekend.
Really sad song, actually.
Why?
Well, if you listen to the lyrics, it's about a dude like begging this girl to still go out with him. And she's like, we went on like a couple dates. We're not that significant.
Yeah, she's
and
like,
he
I'm
goes,
not doing that.
and he goes, I'm obsessed with you. I thought we had this deep thing. And he's like, not. And he's like, well, we both like this movie, Breakfast at Tiffany's. And she goes, I guess that's the one thing we kind of both liked. And he was like holding on to that, thinking they were going to be some great thing. And she's like, I think you're totally insignificant. It's a wild ride if you listen to the lyrics.
It's about as sad as Mr. Brightside actually is when you listen to it.
Maybe.
Because Mr. Brightside
Yeah.
is a tragedy when you're thinking about it. Turn it up.
I said,
What about Breakfast at Tiffany's?
breakfast at Tiffany? She said, I think I
I think I remember it. We both kind of liked it.
And I said,
well, the one thing we've got. No, it's a poppy tune that people don't really think about the lyrics. It's pretty depressing. Like, it's just one of those things you don't think about. But now that I laid it out for you,
wow, I feel so bad for my man. He is clinging at anything and everything he can to get a date.
You got to look
That's
at it this
tough.
way. You got to look at it this way. Whatever the inspiration was for this cat,
Come between us.
the
Yeah,
guy
like
was
every
deep,
other guy that seemingly I'm more
Deep Blue
attracted
something.
to than you. Wow,
This is
that's
one
sad.
hit. This is their one hit. This is the one reason he probably made some money.
Maybe if he was like a millionaire, it might not matter.
I said, what about breakfast at Tiffany? She said, I think I remember the film.
That's obscene. Yeah, I think I remember it. Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, it's okay. That's fine.
You kind of feel
It's
bad,
obscene.
but like this is like the reason they made money in music was this one song. So in a lot of ways, it worked out. It's sort of like Everclear. And it's like they made the band. It's like, they made a whole.
You make one
industry. They got rich
yeah.
on his parents getting divorced. I mean, when you really think about it, every song is about the trauma from his parents getting divorced. It's things you think about when you're on long walks.
I was gonna say, when did this one come to you? This feels like something that I would have realized on one of my long drives on I-43.
You know what? This was a song that was like, it's been around since it was a big hit in the 90s, 95.
Deep Blue something. And let's just say that's about it.
I think someone brought it up years ago.
That's
But I
hilarious.
think way too much about stuff like this. Way too much.
Well, it's one of the reasons why you're you, and it's one of the reasons why we all love you, and one of the reasons
Appreciate
why people
that. Thank you.
continue to find you broadcasting No BS on 1070 The Game and hanging out in the Cooley region with our friends on ESPN Lacrosse and the game in Eau Claire. Hey, big week. Big week for the Cooley region. Big week for Lacrosse and Eau Claire. Listen, we know you guys need a victory. We know you guys need this one more than just about anything, because this is real life. This is day in and day out. You guys don't get the luxury of going to a Kmart, going to a Walmart, going to a Hy-Vee or a Meijer or
I
a
like
Target.
that. Yeah.
Didn't even want to put in Target because I know where that base is and I know where that hub is. You can't go into that spot in that department store without seeing a split and a nice division. Purple on one rack, green and yellow on the other. And the personal conflict of, do I root for the purple and do I start putting my hands above my head going, let's go.
No, I don't want to deal with that. No, Billy.
Let's go. And slowly pick it up from there.
Yeah, right. That's the deal. Yeah.
Or do you want to be able to hear a individual in the back of a parking lot walking down a ramp coming up on Sunday, say at about 3:13, going,
go Pack, go.
There's an easy choice there.
Easy choice.
We know that this is for you guys. Armen's an important week. Border battle number 200. The Green Bay Packers hold the all-time series lead at 66-60-3 against the Minnesota Vikings. Who wins at Lambeau Field on Sunday and why?
You know I'm taking the Packers. I'm sorry. You know I'm taking the Packers all the way. I'm picking the Packers to win because it's time for us to win, and we're meant to win, and we should win, and we're going to win. All right, we're at home.
I like
believe we
all
have
of
the
those
better
non-football
quarter-
guy reasons other than we need to win and we want to win and we have to win.
Listen, the Vikings, unfortunately, they've gotten the better of us too much, in the most recent history here. This is our team. This is our time to beat them. We've got the better quarterback. I believe we have better talent now overall. I believe we have the difference maker on defense, and we're at Lambeau Field. We have to execute, and we have to beat the Minnesota freaking Vikings this weekend. Well, let's do it. Let's get it done. Packers will win. They will cover, Billy. Some places have 6 and 6.5. I know you saw that. It might be a fight. It won't be easy. They will cover. It's the magic number, 27-20. We're winning it again, 27-20 this week.
Calling 27-20, and that would be the 6th victory that the Green Bay Packers have this year when scoring exactly 27 points. Andrew Ludwig, who wins this weekend coming up and why?
Give me a 28-14 Packers victory. I just have a feeling it's slow start to the game, but pick up in the second half, and Packers kind of pull away at the end of the third. 28-14.
Let's go, baby. I like this. Let's go.
I really like this. I really, really like this.
Remember, Billy, when you make your pick, remember this is for our brothers in lacrosse and Onalaska and Galesville,
across the border from
and
Winona,
Melrose and Ettrick, and Monona and Pepin and Osseo and Fountain City and all these spots that had to hear it from those people across the river so often, that they have to hear it up there in Bay City, that they have to hear it in River Falls and Hudson. They don't want to deal with that. This is for them. This is for the trash talking in the western part of the state. All right, what do you got for it?
I think in like 1916.
Really?
I think
a
it's
weird game like
I think
that.
it's a mucky game.
You think
I think
it's low
it's
scoring
tough.
like
I don't
that?
think
AAF game?
I don't think either team scores a ton of touchdowns. Like I think both defenses generally have their way.
Interesting.
And I don't feel all that great about the Packers offensive line trying to block up this unit, especially with Grenard and Van Ginkel back. With, as Wayne Larrivee mentioned at 8:00, he threw in the name Blake Cashman. Now he covers up like 13, 14, 15 tackles a game, but generally speaking, always has 1 to 2 blitzes a game that become pretty important. Listen, the Packers have lost 3 of their last 4 against the Vikings.
They have.
And the only win is against something called Jaron Hall at quarterback on New Year's Eve.
Oh, Jaron Hall.
Like, so I mean, as
Speaking of
much as I
BYU.
would love to be able to come out here with
You're hurting me.
a ton of confidence,
right,
and an incredible amount of optimism that they execute flawlessly offensively, and I'd lean in more the way that Jeff Hafley said earlier on when we heard him in the 8:00 hour of like, hey, we take the ball away, we squeeze a couple of those opportunities. This thing's not close against the Giants. I don't know that I'm super confident that they squeeze a couple of those tip balls and overthrows from JJ McCarthy. I'll go with the Packers victory 19-16.
Okay.
But I think it is as much of a coin flip game as possible. I think both teams are really, really good, even though the Vikings have not gotten that kind of play from JJ McCarthy. I think you're looking at this is the game that Aaron Jones has the bigger moment than he thought he was going to have a year ago. I think it's a really, really tight game coming up on Sunday.
Well, and the books do too. It's a low total. 41's the over-under. They might think it's going to be a slobber knocker as well. In the back of my mind, Billy, I'm sort of hopeful that the Packers can catch the Vikings trying to suck up a bit on defense and actually hit them over the top with a few. Something they haven't been able to do against defenses that are trying to umbrella them. So I get your point there. I hope you're wrong, but it's a fair one. I know we have to get to the wagering board as well before we end the show.
You better believe it. We're going to hit the parlay of the day right now because that was bad news. I got better news for you coming up here.
Time now for Billy's Parlay of the Day, brought to you by Potawatomi Sportsbook. Bet above the rest.
Starts up with an 8-2 team traveling to the 5-5 Kansas City Chiefs. One team is the 3 seed in the AFC. One team comes in scoring 32 points a game, and they're a 3.5 point dog on the road. Now, Kansas City is 0-5 in one-score games, the worst record in the National Football League. Last year, they were historically good in one-score games. I think it's a one-score game. Give me the Colts catching 3.5 at Arrowhead coming up on Sunday, Armen.
All right, Billy, that'll be an interesting one. Colts have been playing really well all year. The Chiefs haven't been. We'll see if those trends change.
I'm going to roll with I can't do it without knowing Joe Burrow's status. I'm going to roll with the Steelers catching 2.5 against the Bears.
Okay.
Because even if it's Rodgers, even if it's Mason Rudolph, it can be Jalen Warren, Caleb Johnson, and a running attack for Pittsburgh that has not been the greatest all season long, but a very, very gettable unit in Chicago. I think the controlling of the game for Pittsburgh and defensively, the way that they can stress Caleb Williams and actually get him on the ground. TJ Watt, Nick Herbig, Keanu Benton, looking at all of you guys. Alex Highsmith, looking at you guys as well. I like the Steelers. I like catching 2.5 points. I'd like it even more at 3. This would be the one where maybe you buy the half point. Maybe you buy the full point, go up to 3.5 if you're a little bit more risk averse. I'm going to take it at the line that it's sitting at. Plus 2.5. I think the Steelers can win outright.
Yeah, you can take it at +3 at -122. I agree, Billy. I think it's important to remember here that the Bears have won games, but they haven't been good. And I know some people don't like to hear that. They've been good enough in the moments to win games, but they haven't been consistently good for 60 minutes in a lot of these games. They've just found a way to win a lot of these. So at some point, I don't want to say clock strikes midnight, but there does seem to be that feel where they have to lose one of these games here at some point.
And you're going to laugh. I know you're going to laugh.
You taking the Browns?
I'm taking the Browns and I'm taking 4 points. I'm taking the Browns, and I'm taking 4
Bro,
points.
you're rolling with Shador.
I'm rolling with Shador Sanders, but I'm also rolling with most likely the defensive player of the year in Myles Garrett.
Oh, that's true.
Most likely the defensive rookie of the year in Carson Schlesinger.
And you're fading Las Vegas, which is
fading Geno Smith in Las Vegas because our friend Aaron in Carolina said, hey guys, I got a couple of off-season observations for you coming up in the National Football League. Pete Carroll's out. Geno Smith's out. Shador Sanders to the Raiders. Well, Shador beats the Raiders. That's why they want him. That's why they get Geno Smith out. And Pete Carroll's like, I'm 74 years old. I got no time for all this nonsense. I'm going to go retire and cash a check. And that's how we win a parlay of the day. And our friend Aaron in Carolina is right. And that's how we make up for a very, very heart-pumping contest between the Packers and Vikings by winning a plus 600 parlay of the day at the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
All right, Billy, let's go get this. Let's get I like that. Let's get to 7-3-1 most importantly. And let's get the Badgers a win too.
Let's get 2 wins in the state. And let's have a victory chicken Monday coming up on Monday.